hard-fought, exciting victory over the Cubs in wild come-from-behind style. More drama coming up tonight as Giants ace Tim Lincecum tries to make it 2 in a row over the Cubs. These are the dog days of August. The pennant race is heating up. Coming up next. It's a cool, breezy evening on the shores of San Francisco Bay as the Giants and Cubs get ready for Game 2 of their 4-game series. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller along with Mike Krukow. Welcome to San Francisco Giants baseball. These are exciting times. We're in August. The Giants are a game and a half out of first in the West, playing a ball club that they need to beat. The Cubs are down with the Padres, the first-place team, coming in on Friday. And tonight, ace right-hander Tim Lincecum takes the hill. Lincecum going against a Cubs team that is really struggling. They've lost 11 of their last 12. The Giants, however, perhaps not feeling empathy for them. They have their own problems.
Well, they do have their own problems, and it starts with offense. Right now, the Giants have just not been able to find the money hit, and that's the hit with runners in scoring position. They are 5 for 51. That's right, 5 for their last 51 in situations where there have been runners in scoring position. Now, they have to do better. As a team, the last 11 games are hitting 174. They have to do better. And the guy they're going to face tonight, Ryan Dempster, the Cubs pitcher, is an ace. He's 9-8 on the year, although 3-7 lifetime against these Cubs. He definitely has stuff that can frustrate an offense. So the Giants, they got to play these Cubs like they're the 27 Yankees, and this is what you have to do. Bring your best game no matter who you're playing, and that'll be the key tonight, what type of intensity they can bring against Dempster. So the Giants, who came from behind for their win last night, same lineup in there tonight, back of Lincecum. And stay tuned. We're going to have more upcoming. NBC Bay Area Sports Director Raj Mathai will have the Xfinity pregame show about the Giants' veterans' contribution in the win in the 11th inning. Stay with us.
Voice reinvented, now available throughout Northern California and coming this fall to Fresno. We are in the dog days of summer. not for the San Francisco Giants, but maybe for the struggling Chicago Cubs. Good evening and welcome to Giants Baseball right here on NBC Bay Area and the Giants Television Network. I'm Raj Mathai inside the dugout. John Miller, Mike Krukow upstairs in the NBC booth. This is exactly what the Giants wanted, didn't they? A playoff race, and we have one. 49 games remaining in this season. In the regular season, the Giants trailing the first-place Padres by a game and a half in the National League West. In terms of the wild card race, they are the leaders as it stands right now. In a thin margin over St. Louis and Philadelphia, the Giants have a one-game lead. Now, throughout the summer, we've talked about the Giants' youth movement, the young players that are leading the way, Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner, just to name a few. But last night, it was all about the veterans. We'll call it Veterans Day here at the ballpark, and that leads us to our Xfinity Game Vision. Remember, with Xfinity Game Vision, you can be your own producer or director, manipulating the video however you choose in the comfort of your own home. Veteran number one, Edgar Renteria. Remember, this was in the bottom of the 11th inning, not having a great season statistically, but came through in the clutch, starting off the rally. The 35-year-old Renteria then set up 33-year-old Aubrey Huff. A little bit of a sluggish August, but Huff leading the Giants in almost every offensive category. He came through with the base hit. After walking Buster Posey, they wanted to face Pat the Bat. Pat Burrell, 33 years old, and delivered the game-winning sacrifice fly. Renteria scored as the Giants beat the Cubbies 4-3. Xfinity Game Vision, powered by Xfinity TV on demand. Speaking of Pat Burrell now, he is red hot. In the last 10 games, he is 11 for 30. And good news for Pat Burrell, he's facing Ryan Dempster, Chicago's pitcher tonight. Against Dempster in Burrell's career, a career batting average of .320. On the other side of the coin, Tim Lincecum pitching for the Giants tonight. Now, Lincecum, by his own admission, going through problems this season that he's never faced in his entire baseball career. We'll explain the evolution of Lincecum next. Internet and voice reinvented, now available throughout Northern California and coming this fall to Fresno. Welcome to San Francisco. We are all set, counting down towards the first pitch between the Giants and Cubs, Game 2 of this 4-game set. Welcome back. I'm Raj Mathai. Here's the deal now with Tim Lincecum. Last year at this time, Lincecum had a 12-3 record. Right now, coming into this game, he has 11-5 record. The numbers pretty similar. However, it's a totally different ball game from Lincecum. In his years past, his first 3 years in the majors, he was able to overpower hitters with a fastball in the mid-90s. Nowadays, he's lost some velocity, which has changed his game, something he has yet to experience, but he's going through it right now. It's the evolution of Lincecum. Take a listen.
Anybody that's thrown hard, anybody that's had a guy can throw a fastball and a guy swings and misses and they know it. It takes you some time to to realize, hey, I can't do that anymore, and I have to look in other areas. And it is for to do it in the big leagues, it's not easy. And again, I'm going back to Barry. Kane went through it. I went through it. A lot of us went through it. You throw hard when you're young, and it's very hard unless you're built like Nolan Ryan or somebody, and that perfect specimen of power to maintain that over your career.
Timmy's still got a lot in the tank. He's young. He's only 26, just turned. So, he's still got that 95, 96 in there. And it shows up sometimes, But I think when it's not there, he does rely on his changeup, curveball, and slider more. And, it's a testament to what kind of pitcher he is.
The evolution pitching is all about staying ahead of the curve. And you want to maintain what you do best. But you're going to have to make changes. It's just the way it is. Your arm is human.
Yes, he is human, and the changes he's making, more about pitch location and more about pitch selection. Righetti and Zito speaking the truth. And what's interesting is when players go through this, they usually struggle. Relatively speaking, Tim Lincecum did go through some struggles this season, but bottom line, he's still 11-5, an all-star, looking for win number 12 in just a few minutes. Let's play some baseball. Giants and Cubs. First pitch and starting lineups with John Miller and Mike Krukow coming up next right here on NBC Bay Area.
Giants have just taken the field, so we are moments away from getting started here in Game 2 of the series. The Cubs batting order brought to you by Ram, the truck that never backs down from a challenge. Tyler Colvin leads off in center field. He leads all rookies in baseball with 17 home runs. Starlin Castro at short, another excellent rookie. Micah Hoffpauir just brought back from the minor leagues. First base, Aramis Ramirez, the slugging veteran third baseman. Kosuke Fukudome starts in right field. Alfonso Soriano, the team leader in home runs, in left field. Blake DeWitt, the former Dodger. Second base, Coy Hill is the catcher. Soto, the regular catcher, placed on the disabled list today. And the ace right-hander of the Cubs, Ryan Dempster, bats ninth.
The Giants defensively will set it up with Burrell, Torres, and Huff. That's your outfield. It's the Water Buffalo defense. Renteria, Sandoval on the left side of the infield. Uribe, Ishikawa on the right side. Buster Posey in the squat. Putting down the fingers of the man on the bump tonight is Tim Lincecum. Lincecum's numbers, number 24 in the start category, 11-5 on the year, 3.15 ERA, almost a 3-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. And for Lincecum, who's going to give you 4 looks, a fastball, a curveball, a slider, and a split he'll call his changeup. Is having a good solid year. I mean, a lot of people have high expectations for Tim Lincecum. So does he. And he's not calling it a great year, but it is a very solid year, and he hopes to finish out strong. And tonight he'll take on these Cubbies, who he is 3-2 lifetime with an excellent ERA of 2.55, and that's in 6 starts.
So here is Tyler Colvin, 1 for 5 last night. He made a great play in the 10th inning when the Giants almost scored the winning run right there, but Colvin, recognizing the urgency, cut the ball off in the corner, made a fine relay throw to Fontenot, who threw out Ishikawa at the plate. Tyler Colvin taking ball 1. 58 degrees the game time temperature. And a little bit low with a fastball. 2-0 the count. That ball is ripped down the right field line into the number 2 archway. The carom played cleanly by Huff, and he'll hold him to a single. Perfect one-hop throw right to second base.
Oh, nice play. Nice at bat. Colvin's got some power. He's got 17 home runs on the year, as you said, and here gets a fastball. And the carom played perfectly by Huff. He's really starting to get that right field wall down. Starting to see more and more efforts like this out of Aubrey Huff, where he positions himself in perfect position to get the carom to make a throw. And you hold Colvin to a single, who runs well. You've done a nice job.
Starlin Castro, rookie shortstop, and that is too low. Castro begins the night hitting .308, 3 home runs, 33 batted in. He broke into the big leagues earlier this year in historic fashion. His first major league at bat came with 2 men on base, and he hit a 3-run homer. And then a little bit later in the same game, hit a 3-run triple. 6 RBIs in his major league debut game, an all-time major league record. That's in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. So they're very excited about Starlin Castro, young shortstop. He makes rookie mistakes, as you might expect. So he's doing a lot of learning at the big league level, but his talent is big league all the way. And a fastball with some cut to it, running off the outside. 2-1 the count. First time that Buster Posey ever worked with Lincecum in spring training. And he was just going to catch him for an inning coming off the bench. 2-1. There's the throw to first. Colvin back to the bag. A running count here. But he asked for some tips on catching Lincecum. And they told him, you will see stuff that you've never seen before. The kind of movement you won't believe. You're going to have to be agile back there because it's going to be real tough. But the runner going. And the throw high and wide and in safely with a steal is Tyler Colvin.
There was absolutely nothing that Buster Posey could do to defend against that stolen base. Watch the jump. Big high leg kick. You're talking 5 steps into his attempt of a steal before the ball was delivered from Lincecum to Posey. Look at that. That's a huge jump.
So Colvin stealing that one against Lincecum, his 4th steal of the year. 2-2 the count to Castro. Ripped foul, just foul down the left field line. That was the changeup or the splitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Padres back in action tonight. Padres with a 1.5 lead over the Giants in the division. They're just starting in San Diego. The Pirates and the Padres top of the second. No score down there. And out of play off to the right, a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Giants and Padres, of course, open a series here on Friday. Big 3-game set. The Giants would like to get a running start going into that series and keep the Cubs down. And the Cubs played real hard here last night. Matt Cain flanked on the left of the picture there by Jeremy Affel, and Madison Bumgarner on the right. Change up in the dirt. Bumgarner would be due up on Saturday, game 2 of that series. Lincecum would be due on Sunday. There's Bumgarner. Matt Cain scheduled to go here in the finale of this series on Thursday afternoon. A night game tomorrow. Barry Zito, Tom Gorzolani due up, and then the day game at 12:45 Thursday. Matt Cain and Randy Wells. 3-2 the count. High fastball, base hit to right center. A late break by Colvin, but he's being waved in, and he's going to score. That one well out into right center before Torres could get to it. And it's 1-0 Cubs, 2 batters into the game.
Nice opposite field swing of the bat by Starlin Castro. It's an excellent 2-strike at bat, but watch the location. Right out there across the letter. So right now, the fastball command of Lincecum is not good, and he's making mistakes to location. He's paying for them.
So the 2 Cubs rookies who have done so well this year jump on Lincecum right away. Castro back to the bag at first as Micah Hoffpower, just brought back from the minor leagues, stands in. Castro, 5 steals for the year. He's running. Posey's thrown. The tag, safe.
Oh, that was close. You're going to see Alan Trammell set him loose, and this is what you're going to watch all game long. They don't believe that Lincecum is good at holding runners on. But even with all being said,
man, he was out by a foot.
Did he touch him?
No, he missed him. Excellent point. From the one angle, looked like he got him right in the small of the back, but he didn't. In fact, he missed him by a foot, it looked like.
Yeah, from here he looks like he's out.
He got him.
Here?
Not even close.
The whiff.
So the perspective, that's the tricky thing when you start talking about using video replay to determine controversies on plays like that. Do you have the right angle? Because not even close. But a couple of other angles, it looked like, oh man, he's out by, or he was out by a foot. This is a good situational at bat for Hoffpower, getting Castro over to third. So now with 1 out, a run already in. The cleanup man, the big RBI man, Aramis Ramirez, comes up to try and make it 2-0.
Now you're going to find out about what type of stuff Lincecum has tonight, because this is a pure strikeout scenario. I know it's the first inning, but still, I mean, he's going to pitch with the strikeout. Ramirez, a big RBI guy. He's actually going to bring the infield in. But he will reach back for this at bat.
And he curves him for a strike. Paul Nowert, the home plate umpire. Ted Barrett at first. Tony Randazzo at second. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, at third. The infield moves in for the Giants. And fouled away, a fastball up and in. Quickly 0-2 the count to Aramis Ramirez. And Ramirez has never done well against Lincecum. He is 1 for 13 lifetime against him. And a lot of those 13 at-bats have ended in strikeouts. On the hands, foul out of play. The shortstop, Renteria, has started back more halfway, and then just before the pitch, he comes moving in to a fully infield in position.
I like that. I think it's a big distraction to hitters. Starting to see more and more teams do that.
He comes moving in again, and that high fastball lifted foul and out of play off to the right.
Watch the shortstop as he comes in. And we've seen it exaggerated to where they even play back to average depth at shortstop and then crash into the grass line.
Here he comes again. And the changeup down and away, smothered by Buster Posey. A run is already in for the Chicago Cubs. And you don't want to get too far behind Ryan Dempster. There is Starlin Castro at third with 1 out. Lincecum trying to keep him from scoring as Renteria moves in. The changeup just foul past third. Well, right now, Lincecum is not getting any swings and misses here. They're making contact, whether it's his fastball or his changeup.
I don't think he's really established that changeup yet. I mean, it became a stress situation. I mean, right off the get-go, when you had bang, bang, couple base hits. So he really hasn't had the leisure of being able to find out what's working and what's not.
The high fastball muscled into center field. Base hit. Coming in to score is Castro. And that is why Aramis Ramirez has been one of the best RBI men in the National League for several years. 2-0 Cubs.
For the second night in a row, the Cubs have scored 2 runs in the first inning. And really not a bad pitch, just a strong man's base hit. You see the target is low and away. This thing goes up and in, but still it's on the inside corner above the hand. That's not an easy pitch to cover. But the strength of Ramirez beats the pitch, and the Cubs have a 2-0 lead.
Now Kosuke Fukudome. Left-handed hitter. A guy with a pretty good eye at the plate, gets a lot of walks. Blasts one deep to right field, and that one is wet. Fukudome, first ball swinging, lands one in San Francisco Bay. 4-0 Cubs. Fukudome with his 10th home run of the year.
Set up in the outside corner. It goes across the plate, middle in, and Fukudome says, "Thank you very much. I like it middle in," and boy, he gets every bit of this thing. I mean, it hits the flag and still gets in the pond.
Dave Righetti out to chalk to Tim Lincecum. And it's very rare to see Lincecum get lit up like this from the get-go. 4 runs home within the first 5 batters of the game.
It's just really the fastball that's let him down. He does not have command of it. He has not been between the knees with the fastball very much.
And the curve is low to Alfonso Soriano, the Cubs home run leader. 19 home runs, 58 batted in for Soriano. And the changeup bounces away, 2-0 the count. That, by the way, is the 13th home run allowed by Lincecum this year, which is not that many. He's pitched 152 innings, except it's a lot for Lincecum. It's the most home runs he's ever allowed in a season in his young big league career. Aubrey Huff on the move. And that is the second out.
Well, if you average 1 every 10 innings, that's good. And he's still under the norm, but if you compare it to what he's done in his young career, I mean, it's a high total.
He allowed 10 all of last year, which is extraordinary. And let's face it, he's been extraordinary. It's just part of it. But he has been very adept at keeping the ball in the yard, that's for sure. 10 home runs allowed last year, 225 innings. 11 the year before, 227 innings. He had given up 12 in his rookie season in 146 innings, which was still pretty good, as you say, 1 every 12 innings or so. But now 13 in 152 innings this year. Blake DeWitt, the former Dodger, and the curve hangs high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Paul Noward is a good umpire for pitchers. I mean, he has a nice zone. It's a big zone. It stays consistent. What he sets in the first inning, it usually is the same in the 9th.
Changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's one of the few times that Lincecum has had a pitch swung at and not hit. Tries it again. And the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 4-0. The Cubs are leading in the first inning. Blake DeWitt is a guy who has had lots of success against Lincecum. And a foul up the first base side. And that low curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Lincecum trying to find himself here. And he's getting roughed up by the Chicago Cubs. 2 down, nobody on, 4 runs in. And the fastball low and inside, full count. He's thrown 32 pitches in this first inning. Back out of play. Still 3-2. The Dodgers playing in Philadelphia tonight. And they scored early and often and lead the Phillies 15-7 into the last of the ninth inning at Citizens Bank Park. LA 7 games out in fourth place. There is Ishikawa, and a nightmare of an inning for Lincecum has mercifully ended. 4-0 Cubs. From Yerba Buena Island, the Giants batting order now. Brought to you by the most award-winning brand of 4x4s ever, Jeep. Check them out at Jeep.com. Andres Torres, center field. Edgar Renteria, shortstop. Aubrey Huff, right field. Buster Posey, the catcher, bats cleanup. Pat Burrell, who has had the hot bat going here for a while, and especially in the clutch, another game-winning RBI. He's had a game-winning sacrifice fly twice in the last 4 games. Sandoval at third, Uribe at second, Ishikawa at first. Lincecum bats ninth. And here we go. Ryan Dempster on the hill for the Cubs. A first pitch fastball for a strike. Andres Torres hitting .291 with a .374 on base average. 11 home runs, 46 driven in. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Dempster with a 4-run lead before he ever throws a pitch in this game. Torres, who was a key man for the Giants, as he often is, last night. That's a foul out of play off the left field side.
The Cubs defensively will set it up with Soriano, Colvin, and Fukudome. That's your outfield. Castro, Ramirez on the left side, DeWitt and Hoffpauir on the right side. Coy Hill will be in the squat, putting down the signs, and the guy in the bump tonight for the Cubs will be Ryan Dempster, 33-year-old right-hander. His 12th year at the big league level, a 2-time All-Star. And Ryan Dempster has got good stuff. I mean, he can 2- and 4-seam the fastball. He'll go anywhere between 90 and 95 miles per hour, depending on the grip. Good hard slider and a split. He can strike out with all 3 pitches. There you see his numbers. Almost a strikeout an inning, 144 strikeouts against 62 walks. As we mentioned before, 3-7 lifetime against the Cubs.
That's along the left field line, but back in amongst the spectators, still 1-2.
If you watch Dempster, he's got a very unusual timing mechanism with his hands. As he starts his motion, he starts to, it's almost like he's trying to shine an apple. You imagine the baseball being the apple, and watch the glove action as he kind of shines it up before he serves it up.
Was that the splitter? 2-2.
I'm not sure he knows what that pitch was. It was a little short.
No, he does that with the glove because he discovered that he was giving away the difference in grip between his splitter and, say, his fastball. So he just tries to throw the hitters off on that issue.
you know, a hitter's eye will pick that up, and it's a distraction. Having something like that as a pitcher is not a bad thing at all. Did you ever see the Magnificent Seven?
Dun 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 dun.
That's the one. That's the one. Well, in that movie, Steve McQueen, you always saw him.
Down the left field line. That will go back into the crowd.
If Yul Brynner, who was the main guy in the movie, if he was in a scene and he was the main guy in the scene, you always saw Steve McQueen in the background. He was like flipping his hat, or he was flipping a ball, and it would always catch your eye when you're watching the movie. So your eye kind of came off Yul Brynner, and you found Steve McQueen.
Ooh, struck him out. Nasty looking breaking ball there. One away. 9-pitch battle between Dempster and Andres Torres.
So the point being is, if you can get out there on the mound and you can do something that catches the eye of the hitter, takes him off of the baseball, it's good. And in essence, I think that's exactly what Dempster does with his shining up the baseball. Here's what the hitter sees. Watch the glove. Hit, and then here he comes.
And a foul ball out of play. Strike one to Edgar Renteria. Hitting .275, 2 home runs, 21 batted in. Dempster, like many of the Cubs starters, has pitched well this year, and not always a lot to show for it. The Cubs have not scored many runs. 9 and 8 with a .376 earned run average. Base hit to left field for Edgar. Giants have a lot of catching up to do, and it wouldn't be a bad idea if they did some of it right here at the very beginning. The big guys are coming up now. Aubrey Huff with Posey on deck.
You're right. A lot of catching up to do, but a lot of time to do it. But anytime you put up a 4 spot, I think even if you could put 1 run on the board to answer, I think it brings momentum back into your dugout.
Padres have gone ahead of the Pirates 2-0 after 2 innings in San Diego. Aubrey Huff hitting .303. Slider low for a ball. Huff with 20 home runs to lead the club, and a club leading 67 runs batted in. His OPS, which is kind of a shorthand a lot of GMs will use to make a quick evaluation of a guy's year, 930, which is excellent. Anything over 900, that's all-star material. 2-0 the count, but he's never had much success against Ryan Dempster. 2-0 the count, though. He's got the count in his favor here. Renteria at first. That big hole open on the right side. He's not going to get through there, but DeWitt does not handle it. In his haste to go after the lead runner, he ends up getting nobody.
Now that is the 87th error the Cubs have made this year, and that's over twice as many as the Giants have made. And this is a double play ball that could have ended the inning. He gets himself in position, and it's just a flat-out boot. Watch his eyes as they watch the glove, and he lifts up just a little bit. He does not watch it into his leather, and it costs him.
So the Giants get a big break, and here comes Buster Posey. And the catcher, Coy Hill, out to talk to Ryan Dempster. Buster Posey got the first big hit in the Giants' comeback last night, when they just time after time could not get that big hit to not get a run. He crushed a double that bounced into the seats out near the 382 marker for the first RBI. Off the fists, foul, and it's 0-1. 4-0, the Cubs are leading. Buster Posey is facing Ryan Dempster for the first time in a big league game. Two men on, 1 man out. In the dirt, that splitter again, and he's having a hard time making that one work right now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That pitch is not his friend. And it's not Coy Hill, the catcher's friend, either. That was an excellent block.
A ball and a strike to Buster Posey. 2 men on, 1 man out for the Giants. Ooh, a good slider in the outside. 1-2.
That is a quick, straight down breaking slider, and there aren't many breaks on a slider like this one. This is an excellent pitch. I mean, that's a slider, but it breaks like a curveball, a 12-6 curveball. Better to see that on a second strike than a third strike.
1-2. Renteria at second, Huff at first. And the fastball, but low. 2-2 the count. There is Pat Burrell on deck. See some of the scores out of town. Steven Strasburg got lit up tonight in his return for the disabled list by Florida. Dan Uggla, 2-run double, 2-run homer early against him. Up the middle, off the glove of Blake DeWitt. Here comes Edgar. Here comes a throw. Cut off by Dempster himself. Excellent hustle by Starlin Castro out into shallow center. But the Giants get the run nonetheless, and Buster Posey, the RBI.
No hesitation from Tim Flannery. That's a bit of a gamble when you're down 4 runs. You don't want to have an out at the home plate. And we're going to make that hit our Cash Creek hit of the game, and why not? It's the first hit that puts the Giants on the scoreboard. Looks like it may have hit off Dempster's glove before it hit off DeWitt's glove. But again, an aggressive play by Flannery. And the Giants are in business. Visit CashCreek.com for details. Our Cash Creek hit of the game.
You see Burrow there at the last, the on-deck hitter who was over right in line with the third base line, coaching Edgar, telling him to get down. And the slider in there for a strike to Pat Burrell. Flannery was right behind him, running down the line with him and shouting some instructions. But there was Pat Burrell right at his line of sight as he headed home, giving him the sign to go into a slide. There's going to be a play. That is on the outside with a fastball. Strike 2.
There you see Tim Flannery. That's some serious coaching right there. And I can read his lips. He's saying, "Please score or Butch is going to yell at me."
And there's Burrell, number 9.
Burrell being the base coach at home plate, tell him to get down. That's his job if he's on deck.
This could be 2. Castro to second one. DeWitt over to first. Double play. The Giants get just the one. 4-1 Cubs. Lincecum back to the hill.
for the final 2 games versus the Cubs for only $12. That's right, $12. Take advantage of the dynamic deal of the week. All you have to do is purchase tickets online at sfgiants.com, and you can always get tickets there. And remember, buy early and save.
Inning number 2. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Giants baseball from AT&T Park. And here is the 8th place hitter, Coy Hill. And Uribe. There's one away. Lincecum needs more of the same in this inning after a 34-pitch epic first inning. Cubs put 4 on the board against him. We're having a hard time finding a game in his career where he got knocked around as hard as he got knocked around in the first inning tonight. In his rookie season, he had a game in Milwaukee that was maybe his worst game of that season. They had 3 in the first and 6 runs in 4 innings against him. And that was a game, remember, he all of a sudden he just looked like a young guy who didn't know quite how to handle life in the big leagues, because he'd never been lit up like that at any level in his lifetime. And I think he learned a lot of lessons that day. And a month later, he pitched on that same field at Miller Park and just shut down the Brewers. And it was a man with something to prove. And there's a ball too low, and it's a 3-0 count to the pitcher, Ryan Dempster. Three and 1. Dempster is, as pitchers go, not that great a hitting pitcher. Excellent bunter, though. 5 hits, 40 at bats, but 12 sacrifice bunts. And it's 3 and 2. Although that was about knee high in the corner.
Yeah, that's like the greatest 3-1 pitch location-wise in the history of the game. But I don't think that's where he was trying to throw it.
And he comes back to strike him out. Raj Mathai, NBC Bay Area Sports Director, is here with us. Raj.
John and Mike, good evening to you. So the last couple of years we've been focusing on the minor league numbers of Madison Bumgarner and Buster Posey, but now they are here. So our focus turns now to the new batch of Giant stars in the minor leagues. Brings us to our Xfinity future focus. Brandon Belt, we've been saying this guy's name for the last few weeks. The first baseman started in San Jose, had a .383 average with 10 home runs. Now at AA Richmond, a .336 average with 6 home runs. Brandon Belt, as JT Snow says, very excited about his development, a pure first baseman. Gentlemen.
All right, Brandon Belt, we're hearing that name more and more, and the numbers are pretty exciting. Jimmy Davenport, former Giants third baseman, scouts for the Giants now. And as the count is 1-1 to Tyler Colvin. I saw him during the last homestand, and he had been down, seen the AA ball club for a week. And I said immediately, he says, how about Brandon Belt? He says, he's the real deal. He's got a chance to be a real good one, a keeper for years. And Lincecum gets a swinging strike 2 with the changeup. 1-2 the count to Colvin. Colvin singled his first time, stole second, and scored the first of those 4 first-inning runs. And by the way, we've had it confirmed now, the 4-run first inning, the most runs Lincecum has ever allowed in the first inning of any game in his big league career. 2-2 the count. He had a game just 3 weeks ago at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers had 3 in the first against him, 3 batters in. That was that wild night where Lincecum was just out of sorts all through that game. Ended up hitting Matt Kemp with a pitch, and really all hell broke loose after that. There were people ejected for the Dodgers, and the Giants mounted a great comeback and won the game.
Lincecum in the stretch with nobody on.
And we've seen that from time to time.
We talked about the problems he was having controlling the fastball in the first inning. He was just completely at opposite ends of what the intended target was supposed to be with the fastball. And here, trying to make some corrections. And the easiest way to do it is take motion out. Get more compact, go to your stretch. Veterans trust a stretch more than they do a windup.
2-2 to Tyler Colvin.
It has been a puzzle for him this year. I mean, he has not had the same type of rhythm that we've seen the last couple of years.
Tries the curve, hangs it up and away. Full count.
And he keeps trying to throw the pitches. I mean, the pitch calling and the pitch selection, they're very good. It's the execution of the pitch where he'll hang a curveball, he'll throw a split that's short, he'll be on the opposite side of the plate with a fastball. I mean, just little things. It shows you he's not in a great set of mechanics.
Deep right center. Aubrey Huff still going back. Jumps and got it at the 365 marker. Pablo Sandoval coming up.
It's made in this area, and Paterkova just got AT&T. Nice play. That's our Giants defensive coverage of the game, brought to you by Verizon.
Wrigley Field, how many rows deep?
Oh, it's halfway up the bleacher section. Are you kidding? Way beyond the basket.
Pablo Sandoval facing Ryan Dempster on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pablo, 264. 6 home runs, 44 driven in. He was 1 for 3 last night. Uribe and Ishikawa to follow. Left center field. Soriano. So Sandoval is gone. Pablo's year right now has been so difficult that I think anybody around the ball club a lot is looking for hopeful signs from Pablo. To see him hit a ball the other way, he hit it fairly decently. You look at that as a hopeful sign.
Well, you're right, and you're looking for him to be able to backspin balls the opposite gap. You're looking for him to keep his top hand on a swing on a high fastball.
Down the right field line by Uribe. Off the pillar between the first and second archways. And Uribe beating Fukudome's throw back in with a double.
One of the best parts about this guy's swing is that he can go to right field. Look at the fastball, middle of the way, stays inside it. Watch the top hand go to work. He's got one of the strongest top hands of the Giants team. He and Aubrey Huff have the 2 strongest top hand swings. Not a whole lot that Fukudome can do.
21st double of the year for Uribe. And now Ishikawa will try and get him home with Lincecum due up next. Ishikawa had 2 hits last night, a walk and a sacrifice bunt. And a great defensive play. And there were so many things that happened in that game last night, it'd be easy to overlook his defensive play that saved a run in the top of the 10th inning. It not only kept the Giants from falling behind in the game, kept Carlos Marmol, the Cubs' explosive closer, out of the game.
It was the play of the game. And I thought as good as the stop, the throw. And here's the play we're talking about, going to his right, Now he steps up and throws an absolute strike to Ramon Ramirez. And everything about this play had to be perfect.
He is pretty smooth at first base. Check swing. That's ruled a swing by third base umpire Brian Gorman. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. But that's that slider that you talk about, Mike.
Did he go? No, that's not a swing. Brian Gorman, itchy trigger finger right there.
One and 2 to Ishikawa. It goes right by Coy Hill. He just missed it. It was wide, and he didn't put the glove out for it, as if it hit a blind spot or something.
He's looking for a breaking ball. He just got crossed up.
And in fact, they are talking about it now.
Well, you can't rule that a pass ball. I mean, that's something that will get changed. When a catcher's up there looking for a breaking ball, and you throw a fastball right by a guy. I mean, first of all, you're lucky it didn't hit the catcher, because that's how you can hurt him, when they're looking to break a ball and you throw a fastball. So the Giants catch a break. And this really is a wild pitch. Look, you see him start to fake. He's kind of anticipating with his first move that ball's going to break in.
So it's 2 and 2. Now a ground ball to a middle infielder could get a run home, or a fly ball. That's the bloop. Base hit. And Uribe's in to score. It's 4-2 Cubs. So Ishikawa, even with 2 strikes on him, gets it done.
Well, the only way you get hits like this is if you've got a quiet lower body. And in a 2 strike, you're going to use your hands, but want the lower body. Even though there's a little bit of a slide, the lower body still allows the body to have balance and use the bat head to beat a good pitch. That is not a hanger at all. Dempster throws a good pitch. And not a whole lot of swing, but it comes up being an RBI single. Tomorrow it's going to look like a line drive. Nice at bat.
Lincecum lays down the bunt. Dempster's only play is to first. DeWitt covering. And Ishikawa moves into scoring position. The 9th sacrifice bunt of the year for Tim Lincecum. Juan Uribe got this started with his first pitch double down the right field line.
Well, as soon as we sign off from tonight's game on NBC Bay Area and affiliated Giants Network stations, Giants fans can watch continuing post-game coverage with interviews and expert analysis on a special edition of Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area.
So Andres Torres trying to get the clutch 2-out hit with a runner in scoring position. Oh, there's that biting slider, and he really made him look bad. It's 0-1.
The only way you break down a swing like that is you're looking for a fastball. You're not picking up the rotation. And halfway in the swing, he realized that it was a mistake. He tried to hold up. But that slider of Dempster has always been a great pitch. That's the pitch that's got him on 2 All-Star teams.
Well, that one was up, but fouled away, and it's 0-2. Now, Torres having an excellent year. His average right at the moment, 290. But he's been even better than that with runners in scoring position, hitting .314 in these RBI opportunities.
Oh, yeah. Mom made the play, and that young man is a fan for life.
And he tried to put him away with that high riding fastball, but fouled back.
All right, this one, you have to earn him. Ooh. Oh, oh. Mom, we'll give that man an assist, though, and a glove.
And maybe a doctor.
Yeah, at least a cup.
The slider missing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Great pitch, and that's a good take. And you can't saturate a hitter with too many breaking balls. Throw him too many of one thing, and he's going to get wise to it. It's easier to lay off as the bat rolls on. That's the danger of throwing your strikeout pitch first.
The wind is blowing according to the flags out in right center, toward left, which is the prevailing wind here at AT&T Park. Time taken. This was Dempster was looking off, and it looked like he was deep in thought without even looking at the catcher there for a good long while. I saw in that first he was having a hard time throwing that splitter. Well, there, that may be the best one he's thrown yet.
That was a split. That was a good one. Another nice take.
2-2 to Torres. The stakes are high right here. The Giants now trailing 4-2. They were trailing 4-0. Acting manager Alan Trammell filling in for Lou Piniella, who's at home with his ailing mother in Tampa, Florida. And this is the stakes are high because a base hit could mean another run here. Renteria would be next. Ishikawa at second. And he fights off the fastball away. Another high stress at bat here for Dempster from Torres. He struck out Torres leading off the first inning, but it took him 9 pitches to do it. So now Hill out to speak with Ryan Dempster. Tim Lincecum had the worst first inning of his major league career. 4 runs for the Cubs, but the Giants are inching their way back into it. A run in the first, another run so far here in the second, and a runner in scoring position. You see the big crowd here at AT&T Park. And it's off the glove. And everybody's safe.
Wow.
Micah Hoffpower, with the inning looking to be over, just missed it.
Well, this is unbelievable. I mean, we've seen some bad defense tonight that we haven't seen all year. And this is just a boot. That's a routine ground ball. And he looks like he just got off balance, kind of got back on his heels. You get back on your heels, your hands get hard. Well, the Giants get another chance.
It's the Cubs' second error. DeWitt booted a possible double play ball in the first inning. Helped the Giants get an unearned run. Now this error keeps the inning going for Edgar Renteria. Edgar singled to left and then scored the Giants' first run. His first time. Slider in for a strike.
Again, he shows that slider early.
Renteria against Dempster. Edgar 8 hits and 23 lifetime at bats, including a couple of home runs against Dempster. You see the defensive alignment. And Torres back to first. Now Torres is the possible tying run. So Dempster's got to keep an eye on him, lest Torres try to steal his way into scoring position where the Giants could tie the game on a base hit. 0-1 to Renteria. Hoffpower on the bag with Torres at first. The third baseman Ramirez also shortened up. And the slider off the outside. 1-1 strike.
Just missed. Dempster originally came up as a starter with the Marlins, and then they made him into a reliever, a closer, because of the strikeout and swing and miss ability of that slider. It's always been his bread and butter. He got over the Cubs. He came up with another pitch, the split, and he became really a reliable starter.
Ishikawa at third, Torres at first. Fastball into the crowd off to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Edgar. Well, the Giants, we've seen in this inning, have had some very determined at bats, some real battles from hitters here. After Uribe's first pitch double, Ishikawa gave him a great at bat. Andres Torres battled him, although ultimately reached because of the error by Hoffpower. Now Renteria trying to extend the inning. Aubrey Huff on deck. There goes Torres, and that slider is top foul.
Boy, he'd have stolen that base standing up. Obviously, Renteria couldn't take a pitch, but had that been a pitch that was a ball and that he did take, there would have been no throw. That's how good that jump was.
John Miller, Mike Krukow, Raj Mathai with you from AT&T Park in San Francisco. Cubs with a 4-run first inning. The Giants with 1 in the first and 1 so far in the second. Runners at first and third, 2 down. A bloop along the line, foul. He may have broken his bat on it as well. So it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. The bat boy out with a new piece of wood for Edgar.
That was almost a thing. And it would not have been the first thing that the Giants have thrown out there against Dempster.
Define that again for me, will you?
It's a thing.
It's a bloop that falls in?
Yeah, well, just kind of a half swing and hit it off the end of the bat. If you're a pitcher, you give a base hit like that, you call it everything but a child of God. And it becomes a thing.
1-2 the count. And Torres back to the bag.
And right now, I mean, Dempster's got to be thinking if he's reading the signs of tonight's game, he hadn't had a lot of good breaks in this game, and still he has a 2-run lead.
Cubs have made errors in each of the first 2 innings. Dempster himself crossed up his catcher earlier in this inning, helped setting up a run. That ball to left, but there is Soriano. The inning is over. The Giants get a run. It's 4-2 Cubs on to the third.
Feeling firsthand when you visit, find out how you can share the love at MontereyBayAquarium.org/love. If you haven't been to the Monterey Aquarium, go. It is fantastic.
Little cut fastball from Lincecum down and away to start in Castro. The young outstanding talent at shortstop for the Cubs hit a single, knocking in the first run of the game for Chicago, then stole second and scored the second run in that 4-run first inning. Cubs lead 4-2 as we start the third. Castro, Hoffpower, and Ramirez due up. Lincecum retired the side in order in the second inning. And the Giants have whittled down that lead from 4-0 to 4-2. Out of play. Off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Cubs 4, Giants 2 here as we start the third. Padres 2, Pittsburgh 1. That is in the last of the fourth down at Petco Park. Karstens versus LeBlanc. And the slider off the outside. 2-2. You get folks inside the ballpark strolling the arcade, and outside the ballpark on what is called the Port Walk behind the right field wall. Check swing foul. High and tight with a fastball at 91 miles an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's an overcast, cool, windy evening here in San Francisco. Sellout crowd last night on Jerry Garcia tribute night, and another excellent crowd here tonight with Lincecum on the hill. Pablo Sandoval just got him. Now back to NBC Bay Area sports director Raj Mathai.
John, thank you. It is officially scoreboard watching season. The Giants are in the thick of the playoff race. Here are your updated up to the second National League wildcard standings. Our Toyota by the numbers. Say yes to unbelievable deals on your favorite Toyotas. Here we go. The Giants are the wildcard leaders, but the Reds, hot on their tail, trail the Giants by just a half a game. The Reds lost tonight to the Cardinals. The Phillies also lost. The Phillies dropped a game and a half back, and of course the Dodgers also part of all that. Should be noted that Cincinnati-St. Louis game, there was a brawl in the bottom of the first inning, John.
Indeed, little bad blood, something that Brandon Phillips said. And then Phillips said something to the catcher, Yadier Molina, when he went to the plate for his first at-bat in the first inning. And all of a sudden, the fists were flying as Hoffbauer is retired. Out number 2.
Yeah, Brandon Phillips went to take his bat. He took his bat and he kind of tapped the shin guard of Yadier Molina, like a lot of hitters do, as if to say hello. Only Yadier was not buying it because Brandon Phillips said a few things in the paper, sort of questioning the manhood of the St. Louis Cardinals, and I don't think Yadier or any of the other Cardinals really appreciated it. And tempers flared, and it was a good brawl. If you get a chance to watch the highlights of it.
All of a sudden, there were 50 players and managers and coaches. Pablo. He wasn't going to get him anyway. Nice effort. It's an infield hit for Aramis Ramirez, who had an RBI single his first time. So with 2 down, Ramirez is aboard, and Fukudome, who homered into the Bay his first time, coming up. We had Raj Mathai down there mentioning that story. And Raj, he missed a game recently because he was in England. And Raj, as I understand it, you went to England for what, the baptism or the christening of your newborn?
Yeah, my 18-month-old son, Max. We flew him to London, where a lot of my family is, took him to our family church, and got him official. Got him official and underneath heaven here. So, yeah, it was a nice experience. We went back there and got back. But I'm back now, John and Mike. I'm back. No more baptisms or christenings.
So this is your recommendation if you have a baptism or a christening, London is the place to go?
London is the place. It's just a quick 11-hour flight. That's it, with an 18-month-old son. It's perfect. No one on that flight like me. I'll tell you that right
Because now. I used to go to the All Saints Church in Hayward. They had pretty good ceremonies over there.
And Mike, you know how John works. He doesn't fly to London. He just takes that nice, slow boat over to London.
Nothing like a transatlantic crossing to soothe the nerves.
I find that if you're traveling with an 18-month-old, take the boat.
Well, Roger, anyway, congratulations for that.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
2-1, the count to Kosuke Fukudome. He hit a big fly his first time. Posey was crossed up there, although that one ended up very nicely. Posey caught it, got the strike call, but they're going to talk about it anyway. Well, is it a little unusual for a pitcher to cross up a catcher when there's nobody at second base?
But it's not unusual anymore because a lot of guys will use your second base signals even if there's nobody on. And I think that's what happened here. And you can really hurt your catcher. Fortunately, it's a little bit easier getting crossed up if you're looking fastball and you get a breaking ball as opposed to looking breaking ball and getting a fastball.
2-2 the count. And just got a piece of that one, topping it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They'd finished 4 innings in San Diego. Padres 2, Pirates 1. Dodgers beat the Phillies 15-9. Vicente Padilla got the win over Kyle Kendrick. The Phillies a game and a half back of Atlanta at the start of the day. The Braves beat the Astros 4-2 in Houston, so the Braves now have a 2.5 game lead in the East. He struck him out. 1 man left, last of the third. Huff, Posey, Burrow, the power coming up. 25th to November 17th. Certain restrictions apply. Tickets at sfgiants.com. And with dynamic pricing, it's always advisable. Buy early and save. Slider in there for a strike to Aubrey Huff. 1 ball, 1 strike. He faces Ryan Dempster as the Giants bat here in the third, trailing 4-2. Huff was safe on an error by Blake DeWitt, the second baseman, his first time. Diving to get it, Hoffpauir. Dempster covers, they get the out. So Hoffpauir, who made an error in the second inning, makes a beautiful play here in the third.
Well, this is a nice play. And this is going to make Hoffpauir feel a whole lot better about his glove than the air did. That's for darn sure. Nice play. And this is another tip for first baseman. If you can give your pitcher coming over to cover an underhand flip, it's a lot easier to control. It's usually an underhand flip that'll go above the belt, and a much easier play to make for a pitcher.
Buster Posey singled home a run his first time. And the slider a little bit low, apparently. Ball 1. Pat Burrell on deck. Cardinals beat the Reds in that game. We were talking about the brawl they had in the first inning in Cincinnati. Cardinals won the game 8-4. And the slider is up and away. 2-0 the count. The Cardinals have won each of the first 2 games of that series. And now they're in a virtual tie for first with the Reds in the Central Division. Two 2-0 the count. Broken bat. DeWitt. And 2 men are gone. We saw some of the video of that benches clearing brawl in Cincinnati between innings. And that was ferocious.
Yeah, that's one of the better balls I've seen at the big league level. It looked like a minor league fight. By and large, the minor league fights are a whole lot worse than what you see at the big league level. But today, everybody was in on it. It wasn't like just 2 or 3 guys going. It was everybody in on it.
Here's Pat Burrell. Fastball is too low. Burrell grounded into an inning-ending double play in the first. 4-2, the Cubs lead the Giants in the third. 2 down, nobody on. And the slider a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is strike 2, and Burrell didn't think so.
Well, now it gives a low strike. I mean, that's what his preference to the strike zone is. You'll get more low strikes than you will belt high strikes, but that's definitely a pitcher strike. Pat Burrell did, I think he was well within his rights to show a little bit of dissatisfaction with his body language.
The inning is over. A very quick inning there for Dempster. Lincecum back to work. Soriano coming up.
the right choice for California. And Mike, I know that was such an emotional season, not only for the World Series, but really Dravecky inspired all you guys that year.
Well, Giants don't go to the World Series that year if it's not for Dave Dravecky, and the way that he interjected an incredible amount of energy into our clubhouse this time of year. I mean, these are the dog days, and we were running tired. I mean, it was, and every team is tired this time of year. But what he did for the Giants in 1989 is just one of the most incredible things that I witnessed. An amazing teammate, an amazing man. And what a story.
Big crowd at the stick for that one. Matt Williams hit a home run. Bedrosian pitched the ninth for the save.
I mean, I'm getting chicken skin thinking about it right now. But it was one of the really wonderful things that I was able to experience and be part of and watch it unfold.
Soriano with a looping liner to Pablo Sandoval. One away in the fourth inning. 4-2, the Cubs are leading. First place Padres with a 2-1 lead in the last of the fifth inning at Petco Park over the Pirates. Karstens for the Pirates and LeBlanc on the mound for San Diego. We'll keep an eye on that ball game as we bring you this one. 4-2 Cubs here. Top of the fourth. DeWitt 0-1.
The thing about that story about Dave Dravecky, it started in spring training when he showed up and he looked awful. I mean, he looked like he left Youngstown, Ohio and stopped at every Dunkin' Donut shop on the way down to spring training. He was way out of shape and he had this big shark bite out of his shoulder. And then he showed up and said, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "I'm going to pitch again in the big leagues." And I almost started crying. And, we go out on the road, we come back, he goes, "Hey, I'm playing catch with a tennis ball from 15 feet. Nod your head, and you walk away. You almost start crying because, he's sincere. I mean, he's trying to make this comeback. And then it was a tennis ball from 60 feet. Then he was playing catch with a football from 20 feet. And he got back to 90 feet with the football. Then it was a baseball. And lo and behold, I mean, he got himself into a minor league game, and he was throwing great. And it just became a story that was beyond belief, and we watched it happen in front of our very eyes. Change up, strike three, nice pitch. But what he did for that team and the energy that he gave us and brought us all together in his story is something I'll never, ever forget him for.
So, despite his insistence that he could do it, it just seemed not possible.
Not possible. There's no way. And a kinesiologist, who studies the throwing motion, he couldn't explain how Dravecky was doing it because he didn't have the muscles to be doing what he did. They got pulled out in the surgery. It's just trying to take all the cancer they cut out of the shoulder. It's just a remarkable story.
1 ball, no strikes to Coy Hill. Grounded out his first time. Broken bat. Bloop. That's in there. Base hit.
Well, Sunday, August 22nd, you can catch preseason 49er football right here on NBC Bay Area. You can watch as the Niners take on the Vikings right here at home. Sunday, August 22nd at 5 p.m. only on NBC Bay Area. It's hard to believe that it's football season right around the corner.
Seems to be a lot of optimism surrounding the 49ers going into the year.
There should be. Mike Singletary's done a great job.
Ryan Dempster 0-1. Dempster struck out his first time. Posey came up ready to throw as Coy Hill was well off the bag at first, but Hill scampered back. 34 pitch first inning for Lincecum and 75 for the game already. A foul pop that will reach back into the lower deck. 0-2. Four runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Cubs. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Giants. A little bit high, apparently. 1-2. Tyler Colvin, the leadoff man, on deck. 2 down in the fourth. Up the middle. He hit a high, a real high fastball. About up around his eyes.
I think he found the sweet spot. All right, let's check it out. High fastball. Oh, that's an amazing swing of the bat. I mean, I think only a pitcher could come up with a swing like that on a pitch like that and get a base hit.
The pitcher might be the only one who would even actually swing at it, period.
Well, every other player has got a strike zone. But if you don't play every day, a pitcher, sometimes they don't really have a strike zone.
Here's Tyler Colvin. He is singled. Flied out deep to right. 2 on, 2 out. Broken bat bloop single, and then Dempster's base hit to center. Keeping the inning going, extending Lincecum's pitch count. 79 now for the game. Colvin, a dangerous hitter, and he has hit the ball hard twice against Lincecum. One and one to Tyler Colvin. The all-time Cubs record for home runs by a rookie was set by eventual Hall of Famer Billy Williams, 25. Colvin's got 17, a little over 2/3 of a season. Change up way outside, and it's 2-1. Walt Morin back in the 50s had 23. So Colvin is already high on the list for home runs by Cubs rookies. And he was not playing every day when the season began. So Lincecum missing badly with that changeup again.
Now this becomes a very big pitch. It started out, 2 quick outs and then a bloop single from Coy Hill. You're thinking, all right, pitcher up, he can get out of this. Then all of a sudden, with one swing of the bat, Brian Dempster made this a stress inning. And now in a 3-1 count to Colvin, who's had 2 really good at bats against him, this becomes a big pitch.
He walks him. So Lincecum, who had settled in fairly well after that nightmarish first inning, the worst first inning of his major league career. Dave Righetti out to the mound, and the bullpen is going to get to work. So Lincecum now pitching just to try and keep the Giants in the game. Starlin Castro, the rookie, who has had an RBI single and is grounded out, coming up. And that is Casilla, Santiago Casilla, who's going to start warming up.
Time now for our scenic shot of the game. It's brought to you by Fry's. Your best buys are always at Fry's, guaranteed. It's out there, the Lefty O'Doul Bridge, right field entrance to AT&T Park.
The waters of McCovey Cove flow under the Lefty O'Doul Bridge. I was thinking maybe we Giants broadcasters could rent one of those houseboats that is moored on the other side of the Lefty O'Doul Bridge. It'd be very convenient during the baseball season. You could live there, and the rest of us who live close by will just be your roommates for the home games.
I'm in. Bring on. Come on over. Let's go.
I have a lot of family that lives here in the Bay Area, and they like to visit.
Do they have a 7,000 square foot boat?
2-0 the count.
And all of a sudden, Lincecum has lost the feel of that curveball.
So another huge pitch to be made here. And Lincecum, as quickly as he seemed to be settling into this game, seems to have lost his flow. Past Lincecum into center field. Hill scores. Dempster heading home. He scores. Colvin to third. 2-run single for Castro. His second hit. He's got 3 RBIs for the night. And this now has turned into a 2-run inning, and the Cubs lead is back to 4.
And all this has happened when Lincecum got the first 2 outs very quickly in this inning. In a 2-0 count, he had to challenge. He goes at him with a fastball, and Castro right back up the middle, and nobody's there.
It wasn't hit that hard, but no chance for anybody to get to it. This equals the most runs allowed by Lincecum in a game this year. He had a very bad game against the Washington Nationals back in late May in this ballpark, when he got touched up for 6 runs in 4 2/3. This is 6 in 3 2/3. And this 4th inning is not over yet. Micah Hoffpower, who has twice grounded out to Ishikawa at first. Count 0-1.
Power, lots of power. Had 20 home runs in Des Moines down in AAA ball.
0-2.
20 home runs and 87 RBIs.
It was in 107 games for Des Moines. The Iowa Cubs. Colvin at third. Castro at first. Lincecum about to throw his 89th pitch of the game. And all in an inning that appeared to be one where he could have a quick inning. McCoy Hill hit a little bloop single to extend the inning. And at long last, the inning is over. Cubs get 2. They lead 6-2. Sandoval coming up. Head day. The first 20,000 fans receive a Bruce Bochy bobblehead presented by Grapes of California. Tickets available at sfgiants.com with dynamic pricing. Buy early and save money. Strike one to Pablo Sandoval. So the Giants, who got runs in the first and second innings cutting into that Cubs lead, are again down by 4 as they bat here in the fourth against Dempster. And Pablo badly fooled with that splitter or a changeup that bounced in the dirt, and it's 0-2. And Pablo had been going after that pitch regularly here.
Well, he did that all last year and wound up having 25 home runs and 90 RBIs. Maybe that's the sign we've been looking for.
They took that one. 1-2. Dempster fueled that 2-run fourth inning rally for the Cubs, swinging at a pitch much like that for a base hit. Back to Dempster. One away.
Not a lot of lower body in that swing, just sort of a poke. Off balance, reaching. He will not be happy right at bat. If you can do this to a hitter, and you can take his lower body out of a swing, I mean, you've done what you're supposed to do as a pitcher. You've upset the timing of his at bat.
Juan Uribe. Strike one. Uribe hit a double down the right field line and scored a run back in the second inning. 6-2. The Cubs lead the Giants in the fourth. That's a base hit into right center. Fukudome in the alleyway, cuts it off. A single for Uribe. He's 2 for 2. And now Ishikawa. Tim Lincecum grabbing his glove, heading down the runway. And with Ishikawa, the 8th place hitter, coming up, it is Nate Scherholtz who comes out on deck. And Lincecum, the most runs Lincecum ever gave up in a game, 7. That was in his rookie season, right here in this ballpark, June of '07 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Back is Fukudome, and he's got it. A lot of topspin in that ball.
That ball was really squared up, and you made a great call there. I mean, the top spin just is what enabled Fukudome to make the play. Off the crack of the bat, I'm thinking this thing's over his head, and then all of a sudden the ball starts spinning downwards, and it becomes a playable catch. But that ball had to feel good. That was right on the sweet spot.
Nate Scherholtz bats for Lincecum. 4 difficult innings for Lincecum. That's a fair ball past Ramirez. Uribe turns at second. The ball juggled out there by Soriano, but Uribe had already pulled up coming around second. A pinch hit single for Scherholtz. He is now 7 for 21 this year as a pinch hitter. Santiago Casilla warming up in the pen, getting ready to take over in the 5th inning. Andres Torres comes up, 2 men on and 2 men out for the Giants. Padres lead the Pirates meanwhile, 2-1 after 5.5. Luke Gregerson on in relief of LeBlanc in the 6th inning. Padres bullpen has been so good this year that most games you have to beat them in the first 5 innings, because that bullpen has been lights out, and often for 4 innings in a game. Chases the high fastball.
Yeah, he had a little greed behind that swing. He was trying to move the Giants 3 runs closer to that 4-run deficit.
And that's the amazing thing. He's not a big guy. He's in fabulous shape, great physique, and very strong, and has a lot of power. Strike 2 on the outside. Two men on, 2 men out. Andres Torres trying to come through in the clutch for the Giants. He's 0 for 2 in the game. And back to the screen. On an 0-2 fastball. He has struck out on a 9-pitch battle. He reached on an error by Michael Hoffpower in the 2nd inning. But 0 for 2. Emmanuel Burris has come out on deck. Edgar Renteria due up next, but Burris has come out. So there may be something wrong with Edgar Renteria.
Well, he's had a problem with his shoulder. He's had some biceps tendonitis.
Fights off that slider. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Gone from his bicep all the way to the top of his shoulder, and it's been very temperamental. Guys in a much better position now than they were in Atlanta, where they had 4 extra men on the bench. Now with 5, if a guy goes down, they at least have some players to absorb it.
Dempster taking a long time between pitches. He and Torres have had some battles already tonight. Torres has been behind in the count over and over again, but battled him. The fastball too high. And I mean battling, fighting off tough pitches, making him throw pitch after pitch. In the at-bat. 1 and 2 the count. And again, Dempster thinking about it. He was doing a little landscape work on the spot at the front of the mound where he lands as he throws a pitch. Now he finally looks in at Hill for the sign. Here's the stretch. Again, Torres lays off the high fastball. 2-2.
That's exactly where Dempster wanted to throw those fastballs, John. I mean, he's thinking he can go above the strike zone again. He's thinking he can go below the strike zone. I mean, by now, these guys are about 20 pitches into a relationship in this ball game. They ought to know each other pretty well.
Uribe at second, Sherholtz at first. So Emmanuel Burris on deck. 2-2. And a good eye there. Good pitch recognition. 3-2.
That's a good take right there. That's not easy. This is such a sharp breaking off-speed pitch that this has been a real asset of Ryan Dempster throughout his career. I mean, he's pitched every pitch in this at bat exactly to where he's wanted to throw it. Now in a 3-2, he finally has to come back to the strike zone.
2 men on, 2 men out. There they go. And he strikes him out with the same pitch in the dirt. On to the 5th inning.
Budweiser, it's what we do.
Get off that phone. I'm sure she said that to him.
Yeah, she did. I could read her lips. A lot of couples here tonight. Date night at the yard.
Santiago Casilla on the pitch for the Giants. He had an excellent game Sunday in Atlanta after Todd Wellemeyer came in and allowed 4 straight hits. There was a run home. The bases were loaded. The Braves were threatening to break it wide open. And Casilla came in and did not allow any of those 3 inherited runners to score, even though there had been nobody out. And ended up pitching 2 shutout innings for the Giants. Look out. He got a piece of it. And Aramis Ramirez will go to first. Ramirez with a couple of singles early on with an RBI. Hit by the pitch this time. 6-2 the Cubs lead.
There are the numbers for Casilla. 31st time he's come into a ball game for Bruce Bochy. Excellent stuff. We've seen a fastball that'll go 95 to 100 miles an hour. A curveball and a slider. And he can strike out with all 3 of them.
Emmanuel Burris now at second with Juan Uribe moving over to shortstop. And Torria out of the game. As Fukudome fouls one. Fukudome with a 2-run homer into McCovey Cove in the first inning. Struck out in the third. He capped that 4-run first inning rally for the Cubs. The most runs ever put up against Tim Lincecum in the first inning of a game. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. It's 0-2. Alfonso Soriano on deck. 6-2 Cubs over the Giants here in the 5th. One and two.
And he sixed him above the hands in an 0-2 pitch.
Casilla is in his 31st game. 28 innings pitched before tonight. 22 hits allowed. 32 strikeouts in those 28 innings. Whoa, look at that. Curveball over the outside.
That is just a great curveball. And if you watch this thing break and how late it break and how big the break is. I mean, Fukudome is not a bad breaking ball hitter, and he just gets bow locked on this thing. It comes from the outside in. I mean, that starts at his shoulder, winds up at his knees. That is a great pitch.
Alfonso Soriano now. Soriano is flied out to right, lined out to third. Ball one. Look at that, 98 miles an hour from Casilla. There are very few pitchers who have better stuff than he does. And sometimes he has a hard time harnessing it. But his overall numbers look pretty good for the Giants this year. Back to the screen. He does have a high walk total in 28 innings, 18 walks. Plus he hit a batter in this inning. That's Ramirez, who's at first. But it's still hard to think, man, this guy, he's actually pitching better than just about at any time in his checkered major league career. And a swinging strike two.
Hard slider. I mean, those are two great breaking balls, the slider and the curveball. We saw the curveball to Fukudome strike three here, a 1-1 slider.
There goes the runner. And Ramirez didn't know where it was. He passed second base, re-tagged, and now heading back to first, and Huff throws back, not in time. Ramirez started looking around. He didn't know where he was. And now Uribe is saying, tag him, and he's out. He did not re-tag second base. Uribe hollered to Ishikawa, tag him. He did not re-tag second base. The second base umpire, Tony Rondon, there it is. And he tagged near second base, but not the actual bag. Good heads-up play by Uribe. Down lease offers on new 2010 models. The Orioles now 7-1 under Buck Showalter. Amazingly, 14-8 over Cleveland. The Rays beat the Tigers, the Red Sox over the Blue Jays, and the Yankees just lost in the 10th inning to the first base Rangers in Texas. Twins over the White Sox to move into first place in the American League Central, and the Mariners lead the Athletics in the top of the 7th up in Seattle. For the Giants, Emmanuel Burris just into the game in the first half of this inning. in the number 2 spot of the order where Renteria had been, with no report on Renteria from the clubhouse. But as you say, Mike, he'd been off and on with a bad shoulder for a while.
It's been very temperamental, and it may have been one play that caused it to flare up again.
There's that splitter and Burris with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Around the National League scoreboard, the Marlins beat the Nats and Steven Strasburg. Phillies were clobbered by the Dodgers 15-9. The Mets beat the Rockies. That was Pelfrey against Ubaldo Jimenez. Jimenez was going for his 18th. Didn't get it. Cardinals and Reds. First they had the brawl. Then the Cardinals beat up with their bats on the Cincinnati Reds and have tied them for first place in the Central. Braves over the Astros. D-backs. All of a sudden, D-backs have a little streak going on. They beat the Brewers. And the Padres still ahead of the Pirates. That's 2-1 now. The Pirates and the Padres in the top of the 7th inning. Burris hits it hard. That is foul. Now, from where we're sitting, it looked like it hit right on the line, but that's the deception from the angle that we look at it. Ted Barrett, the first base umpire, looking straight up the line, thought that it hit just on the foul side of the line.
Well, Roberto Kelly went over there and just watching the body language of the Giants' first base coach. I don't know if he was 100% convinced that thing was indeed foul.
It's 1-2 the count to Burris. Nice to see him make hard contact that way, batting left-handed. Ooh, strike 3, fastball right there at the knees.
Let's watch.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, John. I was going to point out that this is the play that ended things for the Cubs. If you watch the top of your screen, and actually it was the bottom is going to give you a better look. Ramirez goes to the bag and he hits the bag. Then his momentum goes to the left, to the third base side of the bag. He has to go back and retouch that bag if he's going to go back to first. He failed to do so. It was noticed by Uribe. He notified the umpire. They appealed the play, tagged him out, and the inning was over. But just a basic running mistake. It's kind of a surprise to see a big leaguer make that type of mistake. Again, he hits the bag, and look at his momentum goes over to third base. He's got to go back and retouch. He doesn't, and that's illegal. As we point out, Juan Uribe, a heads-up play to point it out.
Downstairs to Raj Mathai. Raj?
Yeah, guys, very heads up for the Giants there. Juan Uribe gets credit for the out, but it was Tim Flannery in the dugout screaming to Uribe to make the tag again and appeal the play. So I think the Giants lead the league in coaching awareness. We see Bochy a few weeks ago doing that at Dodger Stadium with the pitcher's mound, and now Flannery from the dugout getting it done.
All right, so a good bit of info from the dugout from Raj Mathai, NBC Bay Area sports director. Aubrey Huff, the splitter in the dirt. Huff has been safe on an error by Blake DeWitt and has grounded out to first. He got robbed by Micah Hoffbauer back in the 3rd inning. One out, nobody on. 3-1 the count. Right up the middle, but there is DeWitt with the backhand. Just in time.
Wow, that was close.
Buster Posey. He singled home the Giants' first run of the night back in the 1st inning. Grounded out to second in the 3rd. 6-2, the Cubs lead the Giants. Not a good night for Tim Lincecum. He went 4, allowing 6 runs and 8 hits. And that 4th inning rally just came out of nowhere. 2 down and nobody on. And then a broken bat bloop. Okay, that happens. But Dempster, I guess that was the one play in the inning that was most confounding. Dempster fell behind in the count. Lincecum couldn't put him away. And then finally Dempster swung it literally at an eye-high fastball and hit it sharply up the middle for a base hit. Tyler Colvin walked, and then Starlin Castro with a 2-0 count hit the 2-run single. And a 2-run rally that came right out of nowhere. This is the hit by Dempster.
Look at the location of the fastball. I mean, it's well over the head of Buster Posey, shoulder high, and this is when you started to sense that the inning was going to get a little bit weird.
It's a very strong wind blowing straight out to left field as Posey has a count of 1-2. That wind, you see it, could give a ball a push to left field. Back to Dempster. Quick reactions to flag that one down. The Giants down in order. On to the 6th inning. 6-2 Cubs.
Flight voucher on Virgin America. Good to travel from August 25th through November 17th. Certain restrictions apply. To purchase tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Blake DeWitt, strike one from Santiago Casilla.
I think that's a pretty good promo. A 2-for-1 voucher.
I'm into the 2-for-1 idea. My dad always took me to the doubleheaders. They used to schedule several doubleheaders a year on Sundays at Candlestick. Pat Burrell cuts it off in the alleyway, and Blake DeWitt will be held to a single. His first hit of the night, first hit allowed by Casilla.
Oh, I agree. When I was a kid, going to a doubleheader, that was beyond good. Getting to see 2 big league hardball games. Come on.
And for a kid, heaven on earth. DeWitt back to the bag. There's Andres Torres in center. Back to the bag at first, Blake DeWitt. We've been looking at the video again from the brawl in Cincinnati with the Cardinals and Reds today. The genesis of the brawl seemed to be comments made going into that series by Brandon Phillips, the second baseman, where he talked about how much he hated the Cardinals, thought they were a bunch of whiners, and had an especially acute way of stating that seemed to inflame tensions. Sacrifice there for Ryan Dempster. Runner at second, and the leadoff man Tyler Colvin coming up as Posey out to chat with Santiago Casilla. But anyway, they ended up having a big brawl. Tony La Russa, Dusty Baker, the two managers got ejected But from the video, Johnny Cueto, the starting pitcher for the Reds, this incredible video. He's in a crush of bodies and up against the backstop, which is more like a net in Cincinnati than a screen. And he has got his back up against that screen with bodies all around him, and he's kicking out as if to keep everybody from crushing him up against that screen.
He's kicking guys with his spikes. Unbelievable brawl. But you know, at this time of year, managers look for ways to energize their group, and when you can have an opposing player do it by saying something that gets on the chalkboard, you've done that team a favor.
Pablo Sandoval throws out Tyler Colvin, who is now 1 for 3 with a walk. 6-2 Cubs. Burrell coming up. Pat Burrell, who is 0 for 2, will lead off, followed by Pablo Sandoval and then Juan Uribe. Aramis Ramirez, 1 away. We're talking about that brawl in Cincinnati. Cardinals and Reds. Brandon Phillips came to the plate, the man who made the inflammatory comments in the papers, and Yadier Molina got into it with him at home plate. And then the bench is empty. Then Dusty Baker, Tony La Russa had some very heated words. And then Scott Rowland was there, and all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. Here's Sandoval in for a strike with a fastball. Sandoval has flied out to left center and hit a comebacker. He is 0 for 2. Base hit to left. And a slider slapped it hard through the left side. We're going back to that brawl, Mike, in Cincinnati.
And they all get pinched up in here, but keep an eye on Johnny Cueto right here. And he starts kicking out. And this is a major 415. We haven't heard as to whether or not anybody was hurt. We do know that both managers were ejected, and that's all we know. Johnny Cueto stayed in the game. He was the starting pitcher. I mean, the game hadn't even started.
Uribe to fairly deep right field, caught on the warning track by Fukudome. Sandoval back to first. That's the first time Uribe's been retired.
I think it was the bottom of the first inning when this thing all went down. So, I mean, I mean, literally at the game it started, but I mean, this is you don't normally see those type of tempers flare unless you played a few innings, unless, of course, something has been said in the newspaper. That's exactly what happened with Brandon Phillips being the guy that decided to write.
Guillermo Mota up in the Giants bullpen. 2 down. Ishikawa coming up. And Aaron Rowand has moved out on deck. If Ishikawa can keep the inning alive, the Giants would use a pinch hitter. That wind out toward left field very strong now, blowing out toward left with gusto. Get a good look at it. The backdoor slider off the outside. Ishikawa has singled home a run and is lined out to right. The wind is really roaring through here right now. 2-0.
We saw Ishikawa hit 2 bombs in Atlanta to dead center. One went over the fence, one hit the base of the wall. And with the same kind of a ball in this ballpark, it's going to be way out of here because the type of wind that's going right now is going to help balls hit the center or the left. And he's in a great count to do some damage. The Giants need to make a noise here.
Very high in the air to right, to deep right, but not deep enough. Ukudome. And we're going to the 7th inning. Castro, Hawk Power, Aramis Ramirez coming up.
Giants fans can watch continuing post-game coverage with interviews and expert analysis on a special edition of Sportsnet Central on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area.
By the way, we're talking about that brawl. We had some video from Cincinnati tonight, and looking at the wire services with some of the comments that came out of it, and Johnny Cueto, who started kicking at people. Tony La Russa said that catcher and a former Red Cardinal backup catcher Jason LaRue got kicked in the head. La Russa said he had a slight concussion. And Chris Carpenter, who also was out there in the middle of it, another guy who got pinned up against that backstop, had several long raw scrapes across his lower back and his right side. Whatever scrapes translate into. 1-1 the count to Starlin Castro's. Had 2 hits in this game and 3 RBIs. Uribe, nice play, 1 away in the 7th inning. Let's go downstairs to Raj Mathai.
Yeah, John Juan Uribe just made that play. The Giants training staff in the clubhouse right now working on Edgar Renteria. Left the game a couple innings ago with the left bicep strain. So once again, Edgar Renteria out with the left bicep strain. Manny Burris in the game at second base.
All right, thanks for the update. Raj Mathai, NBC Bay Area Sports Director. Micah Hoffpower, the third place hitter in the Cubs lineup. Cubs lead 6-2 here in the 7th inning. And he backs away. Hoffpower is 0 for 3 in the game. But the issue about Cueto kicking with his spikes, Cueto said he was trying to protect himself. He said, and this is a quote from Cueto, he said, I was trying to break the whole thing up. The next thing I know, 15 to 20 people are surrounding me. I was up against the net. When 15 people are around you, you get scared. I had my back to the wall with my feet up.
Yes, he did.
The comment from Chris Carpenter. And he says he thought it was super, and this is a quote, it's super unprofessional. I don't know where he learned how to fight.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the league rules in this matter, because this is as violent a fight as we have seen in a long time.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Michael Hoffpower. Aramis Ramirez on deck. The whole brawl lasted 7 minutes, according to the wire service. And then when play resumed, Brandon Phillips stepped back in the batter's box and hit a ground out to the infield. But then Yadier Molina, the guy who took umbrage at Brandon Phillips, tried to say something to him, although Phillips, I think, was trying to say something nice. And Yadier Molina did not want to hear it. Well, here's again when as the brawl broke out. And there's Carpenter. Carpenter was one of those who got up against the screen. I don't know if that's him there or not. But then there's Cueto, who said that he felt he suddenly needed to protect himself, surrounded by all these people. And he did so by kicking out with his spikes on. And
somebody gets kicked right in the face right here.
Well, that might have been Jason LaRue, who LaRussa said got kicked in the head and suffered a slight concussion. 97-mile-an-hour fastball there from Santiago Casilla,
who is dealing, by the way. The curveball he threw Michael Hoffpower was it shouldn't be legal. This is his 3rd inning of work. Casilla throwing beautifully.
Jaime Garcia, the excellent rookie starter for the Cardinals, got the win in that game. The curveball misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garcia is now 10-5. And he's had 3 of those 10 wins against the Reds. The Cardinals are 9-5 against the Reds, and they're in a virtual tie for first place with Cincinnati. A slider into left field. The bat snapped in 2. Burrows got it. First time Ramirez has been retired. 6-2 Cubs, last of the 7th. runs, 8 hits in 4 innings total. Pinch hitter for the Giants for Santiago Casilla. Aaron Rowan takes ball 1. Now, you think, is that a real baby?
Yeah, that's not baby Carlos. That is a real baby.
Okay. Who's the guy we had out here? They had the guy that he looked like the guy from that movie.
He looked like movie? Alan from the Hangover
movie, the comedy. They all wake up in the morning after a different kind of a brawl.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Sort of a drunken brawl, and nobody knows what happened, but they do know there's a mess all around in the hotel suite, and there's also a baby. 3-1 the count to Aaron Rowan. But we had a group of people here. What was it, a couple of weeks ago?
Yep.
And they're all dressed up like characters from that movie. Three and 1 the count. Ooh, he threw him that slider on 3-1.
That's nasty 3-1 pitch. That slider has been a good one for Dempster all night long. He hasn't made many mistakes with it, if any.
3-2 to Rowan. Aaron is hitting .247, 9 homers, 31 batted in, and he walks. And Rowan does not walk often. Only the 16th time this year. He's had 283 official at bats.
And that's not an easy pitch to take either. I mean, we talk about how late and how quick breaking that pitch is. We saw a 3-2 slider to Andres Torres, and that ended things in the 4th. And it was a similar type pitch. It's just not an easy pitch to take. So nice at bat, Aaron Rowan.
3 strikeouts for Dempster, but that's his first walk. Andres Torres is 2 of those strikeouts. He's also reached on an error. That is foul. Again, from where we're sitting, it looked like it hit right on the line, but again, we don't have a good angle. But Roberto Kelly's over talking to Ted Barrett about this call, too.
Boy, 2 times balls have gone down there. I bet if they're fouled, they're not fouled by more than a couple inches. And this one, whoa, that's close. All it has to do is touch any kind of part of that line, any kind of part.
But nobody has a better look at it than Ted Barrett. That angle, similar to our angle from the side, is deceiving. Castro, second one to first, double play.
Game inches. Well, what an example of it. What could have been a second, third, nobody out situation, all of a sudden, double play. And that's the way baseball goes.
Meanwhile, in San Diego, the Padres have a 3-1 lead over the Pirates, and that is now in the last of the 8th inning at Petco Park. Ryan Ludwig, former Cardinal, 2 home runs for his new team. 2 solos in a game they lead by 2. 0-1 to Emmanuel Burris, 2 down and nobody on. Mike Adams, the setup man, generally in the 8th inning of games, just back from the disabled list. Worked a shutout 8th inning tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike to Emmanuel Burris, who struck out looking his first time. When Burris first came up a couple of years ago, a very raw rookie, he was a much better hitter from the right side than from the left. And as that season went along, he got better and better as a lefty. Starlin Castro for the edge of the outfield grass, double clutches and skips it right by Hoffbauer. Then did the ball go out into the dugout? I think he should be allowed second base, and he will be. It was the home plate umpire who seemed to catch that it didn't just come off the railing back onto the field, and it went out of play and shot back from out of play back toward first.
It's going to be interesting to see how they rule this play, whether or not they're going to give Burris a hit. The double clutch there by Castro, and it has indeed been ruled a single and then an error as the ball bounced into the photographer's pit. It's 105 pitches on the night for Dempster. Now Trammell out, talk things over. He hasn't made the call to the bullpen yet. Good lead min.
A left-hander and a right-hander up in the bullpen. Andrew Kashner is the right-hander. James Russell, number 40, the left-hander.
Well, this is crucial right now in this game. With the Giants down 4 runs and an opportunity here with 2 outs for the runner in scoring position. And here come the big boys. This is when they need to make their move right now.
Aubrey Huff, he is 0 for 3. Reached on an error by DeWitt in the first inning. And robbed by Hoffpower of a base hit in the third. Grounded out to second in the fifth. Emmanuel Burris at second after the infield hit and the error. Huff will try and bring him home. He leads the club in RBIs. 1 ball to no strikes. There's Buster Posey on deck. This is the part of the lineup where the Giants have been producing a lot of runs since the beginning of July. 2-0. There's
the dog,
the tape measure home run guy.
The dog. Gamer looks a little worried right now.
He did. He was a picture of concern out there. 2-0 to Huff. Three 3-0.
Another 2-0 off-speed pitch. He really hasn't given him the fastball. If you think back about all the 3-2 sliders he's throwing here, a 2-0 split. And it's been that way all night long. He really has stayed away from a predictable fastball and a fastball count.
Four-pitch walk. And that may be it for Dempster, who didn't really seem interested in going after Aubrey Huff. And he is finished. 109 pitches and out. Very strong 6 2/3 for Dempster. Kashner, the right-hander, in to face Posey. We'll be right back. He stayed on into the 8th inning, went 2/3 of an inning with those 2 walks. He's got a great arm.
Well, he does have a great arm. He can go mid to high 90s with the fastball. He's got a changeup, which is a good strikeout pitch and a slider, which he can also get you with as well. I mean, he does not lack for stuff, but he does not have great command.
So Posey, the hitter, 1 for 3 with a run batted in. Burris at second, Huff at first. The slider, ball 1. Guillermo Mota up in the Giants bullpen, getting ready for the 8th inning. Santiago Casilla, 3 outstanding innings as the Giants long man tonight after an early exit from Tim Lincecum. Way outside, very sharp slider, but he missed well off the corner, and it's 2-0.
I mean, he's got a 4-run lead. The guy with the mid to high 90s fastball, giving way to a slider the first 2 pitches of this AP to fall behind 2-0. That's a little strange.
James Russell, the only left-hander in the Cubs bullpen, still getting or staying loose in the bullpen. High and tight. Fans outraged.
.20 fastball up, and I mean, this will curl your nose hairs. And everybody here in the ballpark booing. I mean, it wasn't that close, but it definitely got the attention of Posey and everybody in this yard.
And 3-1. They do have Sean Marshall, who's the left-handed ace in their bullpen. But Trammell would like to not use Marshall tonight, who went 2 innings in last night's game through 26 pitches. Pat Burrell on deck. If he gets up, he'd be the possible tying run. Left center field. Deep. And off the glove of Tyler Colvin. 2 runs have scored. Burris and Huff come round to score. Tyler Colvin got to that one and then did not get the catch near the 404-foot marker, and it is 6-4.
I don't know if he can hit a ball any harder now. I mean, it had some height, but it was absolutely pured, and it became a wrestling match with Colvin as he had to battle the elements, and in the end, it was just too much for him to hang on. So the Giants, another break because of poor defense from the Cubs. Hits him low in the heel of the glove, and all of a sudden, the Giants have the tying run coming up. But Posey giving it a ride. He had good count leverage, looking for a fastball, gets it. And only in this ballpark does it stay in.
That's a graveyard for a home run hitter. That notch out there between the 382 marker and the straightaway center field area, 404 feet away, where the left field and center field walls meet. So here is Burrell, the possible tying run. And he chases that slider, and it goes right by Coy Hill. Over to third base is Posey. Error all the way, no RBIs for Posey, although the Giants don't really care about that. They were 6-2 behind with 2 down in this inning. With 2 down and nobody on, they have 2 runs home and a chance to get more. On 1 to Pat Burrell. Burrell is 0 for 3 in the game. Burrell walked against Cashner last night. And a fastball right by him. 0-2. And the wind is just howling out toward left field now. The flags in right center indicate a very strong wind. And away from Hill, but not far enough for Posey to risk it.
Oh, yeah, the rally hats are working. I mean, it was critical that they would come up with something in this inning, and they have done that, and they're looking to score some more.
Sergio Romo, as you saw a moment ago, has joined Guillermo Mota in the Giants bullpen. Cashner's still looking in at Hill. Now is ready. The fastball at 96 miles an hour into the second deck. Got more rally caps going. So the rally cap is you turn it inside out. That's the idea.
Yeah. It's magic.
And it coming after with that fastball again. Back to the screen. 1-2 the count. A new supply of baseballs brought to the plate umpire, Paul Nowert from the Giants bat boy. Cubs Russell, the left-hander, has been joined in the bullpen now. In the dirt. Wow.
That's a great block. Coy Hill has made some tremendous plays behind the plate tonight. Add that to the list.
It's been tested in this inning by Cashner.
I mean, that's right out there, about 2 feet in front of home plate.
Two and two the count. He may have saved a run with that block. Oh, struck him out with the breaking ball. But the Giants get 2. 6-4 Cubs on to the 8th.
An error, but Colvin with the chance to make the play in center field. Instead, Buster Posey does end up with a 2-run double, but Colvin had a missed opportunity, also a couple of passed balls. So it's been an ugly game for the Cubs. However, they could still win this thing right now, 6-4.
Yeah, they still have the lead. Thanks, Raj. Raj Mathai, sports director of NBC Bay Area. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow up here in the booth, and Guillermo Mota takes the hill for the Giants. Excellent work by Santiago Casilla. 3 shutout innings, 1 hit given up. He also hit a batter, had a couple of strikeouts. And Mota's first pitch is driven deep into left center. And a nice catch there by Burrow. So the wind is pushing balls in that direction, or did there anyway. And ended up going over Burrow, and he had to catch it with his back to the infield.
Well, this is the wind you're talking about. If it goes out to straight left field, it's going to get some help, and you can see the difficulty in the play. And we're going to make that our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play. Pat Burrow going a long way to haul it in. It's brought to you by your Bay Area Lexus dealers. Our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play. Look at the drift. I mean, that's almost 30 feet of drift right there. That's a lot of help on a baseball.
And a slider is low for ball 1 to Soriano. And that, as Rod said, that Ball hit by Posey that we thought had been called an error, called a 2-run double by the official scorer. So Posey with his second and third RBIs of the game. And the runs are earned runs, both to the record of starting pitcher Ryan Dempster. So he went 6 2/3, got charged with 4 earnies. Soriano 0 for 3. Powerful right-handed hitter. Slider in the dirt. 2-1 the count.
We saw an old friend of ours today, Charlie Kerfeld, who was a pitcher for the Houston Astros and now is a major league scout from Carson City. And his father, Jerry, turning 92 today. I wanted to say happy birthday to the old man. So, Jerry, happy birthday. Meet.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Meet. 2-1 the count. And a slider.
That was a nasty slider. That slider his has just been such a good pitch.
Well, Sean Marshall is up, getting ready for the 8th inning. He's the primary setup man in front of Carlos Marmol. Cubs lead 6-4. Into the hole and off the glove with a diving Sandoval into left center. Soriano will take the big turn at first and hold on as Burrell gets it back. Cubs have their 10th hit of the game.
Well, it had to be Sandoval. If the ball got by him, and even if Uribe had caught that ball, there's no way he's going to throw out Soriano, who runs well. So, just off the fingertips. Base hit all the way.
Now Blake DeWitt, he's 1 for 3, singled in the 6th inning. The only hit allowed by Casilla in his 3. And Soriano back to the bag. Soriano used to be a prolific base stealer. He once was a 40-40 man when with Washington. Soriano does not often run anymore. He had a lot of leg problems the last 2-3 years. Has only 4 steals for the season. Back to the screen. The count is 0-1. By the way, Dave Bush, a longtime sports writer with the San Francisco Chronicle, who went to the same high school as I did, although Dave was a little bit before me. Retired now from the Chronicle. But his high school journalism teacher was Eleanor Kranz. She was known as Eleanor Huxley when he was there. But Eleanor Kranz when I got to Hayward High School. And he sent me a note saying that with very sad news, he sent me a note saying that Mrs. Kranz, as we knew her when I was at Hayward High, passed away just a few days ago at age 93. She had been in the hospital and was in no pain. But I remember her very fondly. When you're in high school, you go to school, you do your work, you do your homework. But when I took journalism from Eleanor Kranz, I was inspired, and she had that passion for her profession and a passion for journalism, and she passed that on to her students. And I know Dave Bush was one of her great joyful experiences, and he turned that into a long and successful career with the Chronicle. No pitch there, so the count is still 0-2. But the best wishes and thoughts and prayers to her family and all her many friends, and would join with all of her many students from all those many years who were inspired by Eleanor Kranz. And I really got a lot of joy from the journalism aspect, covering stories, having a beat, writing a story, and decided that, hey, that whether it's broadcasting or newspaper writing, that's where I'd like to be. So, and she's the one who passed that along. So, Eleanor Kranz, a great teacher, a credit to that profession, and it is very sad news that she has passed away. Strike 3 called. Blake DeWitt is retiring.
And how many times have we seen that from Guillermo Mota of late, where guys just get frozen on corner paint? This is a two-seam fastball that just goes right into the hand between the knees of Buster Posey, and Blake DeWitt a victim. Great location.
Coy Hill, he started that big 2-run 4th inning rally against Lincecum, the 2-down nobody on rally, with a bloop single. And Lincecum just could not keep it from happening as Dempster followed that with a base hit on a pitch that was way up out of the strike zone. Colvin walked, and then finally on a 2-0 count, Starlin Castro hit a single to center. And those 2 runs are the runs by which the Cubs lead at the moment. 6-4 Chicago, as Javier Lopez runs down to the Giants bullpen. 1 ball and no strikes to Coy Hill. I believe that's Fontenot who's come out on deck. A left-handed hitter for the Cubs. It is Fontenot. 2-0. The National League West, with the Rockies losing tonight with their ace Ubaldo Jimenez getting that start. The Dodgers in a wild win at Philadelphia, and the Padres have won that ball game over the Pirates 4-1. Wade LeBlanc got the win. Heath Bell his 32nd save. Padres do not often lose when they're ahead, even if it's just through 5 innings. When they're ahead after 5, it's hard to come back and beat them. That bullpen is deep and extremely talented. Three and one.
Taken all the way, as he should. Well, that has been the strength of that Padre club. They're pitching, and you're right about the bullpen. They have had 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning specialists, and they've been consistent with it all year long, and they have not wavered.
2 down, Soriano at first, and back to the bag.
Giants fans going to get a chance to see the Padres this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3-game series. And there are seats available. And they will bring some electricity into this ballpark. It should be a playoff atmosphere. It'll be a lot of fun this weekend.
Padres have the best record in the National League. Soriano runs. That's a base hit to right. Over the head of Burris. Coy Hill has a 2-hit game. Hill began the night with a batting average of 193. So now Fontenot will pinch hit for the pitcher, Cashner. And Righetti out to the mound for a few words with the right-hander, Guillermo Mota. We're in the 8th inning. Giants just got 2 runs in the 7th to close the gap from 6-2 to its current 6-4. Now the Cubs are mounting a 2-out threat to lengthen that lead.
Well, a reminder, Sunday, August 22nd, you can catch preseason 49er football on NBC Bay Area. That's right, preseason football is here. You can watch as the Niners will take on the Vikings right here at home. Sunday, August 22nd, 5 p.m. only on NBC Bay Area.
2 on, 2 out. As Mota gets ready to face Fontenot. Fontenot having a pretty good year as a role player. 280 average. A home run, 18 runs batted in. 6 pinch hits this year in 26 at-bats. He got into last night's game in the 8th inning as part of a double switch and ended up going 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts in that 11-inning game, eventually won by the Giants. One ball and no strikes. Fontenot, not only a teammate of Ryan Theriot in the middle infield with the Cubs, but they were also teammates back in college at LSU. That one is ripped down the right field line. That is in there. Base hit. Soriano scores. Coming around third, heading home is Hill. The relay not nearly in time. 8-4 Cubs. They get those 2 runs right back. Fontenot with a pinch hit, 2-run double.
Let's watch the pitch. Just a challenge right out of the middle of the plate. And Fontenot rakes it away from the defense. They had Aubrey Huff pull well off the line, sort of protecting the gap in Triples Alley. And Fontenot hit away from the defense, and that hurt.
The 11th double of the year for Fontenot. So 8-4. The Cubs had that 4-run lead, the lead with which they began the night with a 4-run first inning. Leadoff man Tyler Colvin. He scored their first run, leading off the game against Lincecum with a single. Stole second. Since then has flied out deep to right, walked, and grounded out to third. He's 1 for 3 officially. 8-4 Cubs in the 8th. Yamamoto gives up a couple here, and the Cubs are threatening more as Posey goes out to chat with him. One ball, one strike.
12 hits tonight for the Cubs.
Cubs had not been scoring runs the last 4 games. In fact, even with the 3 they had last night, averaging only 2.5 runs per. But 8 runs in this game, which you didn't really see coming with Tim Lincecum on the hill for the Giants. But he was not sharp. Although he seemed to settle in for a while until there were 2 down with nobody out in the 4th inning. And they got their final 2 runs against him. And that was his last inning. 2-2 now to Colvin.
Well, the bottom of the Cubs order tonight have really made big contribution offensively. You think back in that 4th inning, it's a 4-2 ball game and 2 quick outs, and all of a sudden you get a hit by the 8th place hitter, Coy Hill, then a hit by the pitcher, and they would go on to score 2 runs. I mean, all that got started by the bottom of the lineup, and then in this inning, it looked like it was going to be a pretty quiet inning for Mota, and all of a sudden, boom.
The inning has ended, but the Cubs with 2 more 2-out runs, and they lead 8-4.
Changeup, and he'll throw anything at any time.
So Pablo leads off against him. He is 1 for 3 in the game. The slider is low for ball 1. Pablo hit a single to left his last time. Now batting right-handed for the first time this evening. Pablo hitting only .236 as a right-handed hitter this year. And that just went up a little bit. And he's been hitting better right-handed in the last 3 weeks or so.
2-hit night tonight for Sandoval. Got a good pitch at the belt. I mean, nothing wrong with that swing. And you saw that the hand action was pretty quiet. He didn't have a lot of hitch. At times he can really come up off that front leg and dip that back hip. And if the back hip dips too much, it can cause an uppercut. That swing was pretty flat. Good hack.
Juan Uribe now. 2 hits in the game. Curveball for a strike. Interesting, Marshall went 2 innings last night through 26 pitches in the 8th and 9th innings. And now he's in there again tonight, even though it's a 4-run game. And the curve, 0-2. Uribe doubled in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, flied out deep to right in the 6th. Cubs already have their closer, Carlos Marmol, getting ready in the bullpen as well, with nobody out here in the 8th inning. And that curve off the outside. 1-2. He got an excellent curveball. Well, the Cubs, I guess they figure they've lost 11 out of their last 12. Alan Trammell, the acting manager in the absence of Lou Piniella. So they can play this one as if it's Game 7 of the World Series and just get a win. Struck him out.
Boy, nice off-speed pitch. Took a little bit off the curveball. Big break, and he got Uribe out reaching him. Watch him leave his back foot and reach. Nice pitch.
Travis Ishikawa. Ishikawa has singled home a run, lined out to right, and flied out deep to right. Travis swung the bat well in this game. Just the 1 hit to show for it. Actually, the 1 hit, he hit just a little bloop into left field. The other 2 times when he really hit the ball well. 0-1 the count to him. Last of the 8th, 8-4. The Cubs lead the Giants. Freddie Sanchez is out on deck with the pitcher due up next. One hop to Hoffpower. And get 1 at 2nd. And safe at 1st. And Pablo Sandoval went in hard on Starlin Castro. Castro having a hard time getting up.
He just did get his leg up. And one thing about Pablo Sandoval, he'll go in there and he'll put some heat on the middle infielder. Hoffpower opting for second base. And totally legal slide. All you have to do is be able to touch that bag. I mean, he's built like a linebacker anyway. And not afraid of contact.
You know, I think my first thought was, hey, you better get out of there. But I think he got pulled off the bag. You see there was a little, after he caught that ball, he took pains to reach that foot back and kick the bag. So that might be why he lingered a little bit too long there. He didn't have his foot in the bag yet. 1 ball, no strikes to pinch hitter Freddie Sanchez. 2 down, Ishikawa at 1st.
All right, let's watch. Does he come off the bag as he reaches? Yeah, it looks like he may have been off just a little bit.
Watch him kick it. Well, at any rate, I think he thought he came off the bag as he reached that foot back an extra. I mean, he came off maybe 2 inches, but he reached the foot back and kicked the bag. Otherwise, my advice to him is catch that ball and get the hell out of there.
Every time.
Maybe you hadn't noticed, Pablo's a pretty big guy.
He's a fullback. And you're the blocking assignment, my friend. Oh, well. He's a rookie. Those are things you learn.
And he's had to learn a lot of things the hard way. ripped foul into the stands by Freddie Sanchez, and it's a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
All right, they're clapping, they're smiling, we're good.
Everybody wants a souvenir baseball when they come to a game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great to get a foul ball? And then they get one like that.
Well, that's when you had to earn. That was a whistler.
That's a foul ball that can give you nightmares.
She's happy. If she's happy, he's happy.
I don't know what she's saying. Man, it hit me right here in the sternum, and I always thought that would really hurt badly. 3-2. The curve with the runner going, fouled into the seats off to the right. Sean Marshall in this year of discontent for the Cubs. Cubs 18 games under 500. But Marshall has been excellent. And Carlos Marmol is having a big year. At the end of the games, they're still pretty good. Runner goes, and the curve is up and away.
Nice at bat, Freddie Sanchez. And the international sign for my pitcher is ready. And the Cubs now have Carlos Marmol greased up and ready to go. As to whether or not Trammell's going to bring him in, we don't know yet. If you look at the numbers for Carlos Marmol this year, they're cartoon-like. He almost is averaging 2 strikeouts per inning. Dave Binzer, our veteran cameraman, right down there in the first base side, the first base dugout.
Was he kibitzing with Alan Trammell, the manager?
He was telling him, Trammell, leave this guy in one more hitter. That'd be good. Nice going, Benny.
The curveball off the outside, ball 1. Well, most managers are charged to swing right-handed. He's hitting only .219 from the right side. .319 at game time from the left side. But last night, he had a big hit as a right-handed hitter. That is a slider for a strike on the outside. James Russell, the young left-hander, came in the 6th inning of that game. And Andres Torres got a base hit. Knocked in a run that tied the game. And it stayed tied until the 11th when the Giants won it. 2 on, 2 out. Sharp breaking ball.
Such an acute angle coming up there. He's had that breaking ball since day 1. I mean, he's perfected it to where he can rely on it now. There wasn't always a case where he could rely on it because of the break being so big. But as he has aged, that pitch has become more reliable.
Curveball. Caught by Castro. Well, he looked a little worse for the wear after the collision with Sandoval, but not bad there.
Sponsored by SunPower, the planet's most powerful solar. And we go back to the first inning, 2 runs in, 1 on, and Fukudome steps up and puts one in the water. And that would lead to a 4-run first inning, the most ever given up by Tim Lincecum in his brilliant career. And that is our SunPower power play of the game.
Castro with the high pop-up, and Ishikawa. So Castro is 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, and he also took away at least 1 run from the Giants there. Andres Torres scalded one. Looked like it might be a base hit, and Castro made the headlong dive and ended the inning.
Yeah, that was painful. As we look at the numbers for Ramon Ramirez, look on him as he can throw every day. He's getting a chance to prove it. Worked last night. He's been throwing the ball well. Low to mid-90s fastball. Got a couple of things he can do with the ball. Got a change up and a slider. And he can strike out with all 3. He's been impressive.
He's a veteran, been around a while. Burrows started back, now in a little bit. 2 down. This is that play by Castro.
Now, an excellent at bat from Andres Torres. A little topspin sinker, sinking line drive. Not an easy play. And look at, he's just got it right there on the tip of the web.
When he got up after the collision with Pablo Sandoval, he was having a hard time putting pressure on his left leg, and he was limping a little bit. But apparently he was fine and moved awfully well there to rob Andres Torres. 2 down, nobody on, and a mighty cut by Aramis Ramirez. Didn't get it. He's 2 for 3. Ramirez has been a great RBI man for the Cubs. He's really been the best third baseman that they've had since the days of Ron Santo. But he's had a lot of injury problems these last couple of years. 1 and 2.
Boy, 2 perfectly placed fastballs right above the hands, middle in. Go right back up there again.
8-4, the Cubs lead the Giants in the 9th. Ramirez singled home a run in that 4-run first. He also had an infield hit in the 3rd, hit by a pitch in the 5th, and a fly ball to left in the 7th. 2 for 3. That is in front of Burr. Burr just wasn't sure on that one. Hit right at him. He's going to play it as a base hit. Then he thought maybe, hey, maybe I can catch this ball. And it fell in front of him. 3rd hit of the night for Aramis Ramirez.
A good idea for Ramirez. He just didn't quite get the ball up high enough. Lowered it just a little bit. And Ramirez made him play. Made him pay. That ball was loud contact, my friend.
Fukudome, you saw that home run into San Francisco Bay against Lincecum in the 1st. Since then, he struck out twice and flied out deep to left center. Ball 1. Ramon Ramirez started the year with the Boston Red Sox. It was a big offseason signing by the Red Sox before last year. He'd had an excellent season with Kansas City in 2008. This year he was with the Sox, his 2nd year there, and the Giants were able to acquire him in a trade. Not along with, but about the same time they also got Javier Lopez. Giants for a while had no left-handers at all in their bullpen, with both Affeldt and Runzler injured. So Javier Lopez has done a great job so far.
He has been impressive. Good ad.
Alfonso Soriano on deck would be next. 2 down in the 9th. 8-4 Cubs. Through the hole, base hit. Fukudome's 2nd hit. The Cubs have scored their last 4 runs in innings after they were 2 down. And those 4 runs are the difference in this game. And now here they got something else going with 2 down, and Javier Lopez runs down to the bullpen. The right-handed hitting Soriano is at the plate now, and a left-handed hitter, DeWitt, on deck. Carlos Marmol getting ready in the bullpen. There's Javier Lopez. One ball and no strike. Soriano is 1 for 4 in the game. Giants, you may recall, stories were that the Giants tried themselves to sign Soriano, and there were reports that they actually offered more money than the Cubs had offered. But he eventually decided to go with the Cubs. And Wrigley Field, that was the same offseason where there were reports that the Giants had tried to sign Carlos Lee, who ended up with Houston. 1 ball, 1 strike to Soriano. And at the moment, it appears that the Giants made out by not signing either one of those guys.
Yeah, things have a funny way of working out.
The Cubs owe an incredible amount of money on Soriano's contract for a few years to come. Ooh, that was a nasty pitch. 1-2.
Well, you know, the guy, and he's as dangerous now as he ever was in the game, but I mean, he just hasn't been able to grow with consistency in his career. I mean, for a guy who has the ability to throw 40-40 up, I mean, you would expect to see more of those types of numbers, and he's not been able to deliver.
He's had some injuries. He's no longer a base stealer as he had been before. Time is granted just as Ramirez started a break from his set position. Aubrey Huff in right field. The inning is over. 2 hits, 2 left. Last chance for the Giants with Burris, Huff, and Posey due up against Marmol.
In their closer, Carlos Marmol, who has had some kind of year with the strikeout total. You look at the numbers, 51 innings, 95 strikeouts, and that's amazing. It's almost a 2-to-1 strikeout average per inning against 34 walks and 27 base hits. For Marmol, he'll go low to mid 90s with the fastball and one of the best sliders that the National League has. It is quality stuff, and he can strike out with both pitches.
0-1 to Emmanuel Burris, who has struck out and had an infield single since he entered for the injured Edgar Renteria. Edgar left the game after the fourth with a left biceps strain. Aubrey Huff and Buster Posey to follow. The slider is up and away. Marmol, 51 in the third innings, only 27 hits allowed. Who does that?
91 strikeouts. Come on.
95.
95 strikeouts. That is an emergency swing and a 1-strike count.
Marmol does walk a lot of guys. He's averaged about 6 walks per 9 innings pitched.
Now that's way, way above the average. For a closer, I mean, you should be averaging 2.
Two and two the count. It's a base hit. Fukudome almost, but not quite.
Well, we talk about it being a game of inches, and most of the inches in tonight's ball game have gone by way of the Cubs. This one, however, gets a little enthusiasm in the Giants dugout. Nice at bat. 2 out, or a 2-strike swing of the bat from Emmanuel Burris. And Fukudome, who is an excellent outfielder, not able to make the play, so they need a couple more of those. They need base runners, down 4.
Ball 1 to Aubrey Huff, who is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored.
Do you know this about Marmol? He does not like cold weather.
And he's had his implosions. That slider in for a strike. And a lot of times it has revolved around walking not just one guy or 2 guys, but a bunch of guys. And the slider, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Aubrey Huff. Buster Posey on deck. The Giants down 8-4. Not a save situation for Carlos Marmol, except if you're Alan Trammell, the acting manager, this game needs to be saved. They have lost 11 of their last 12. Two and two the count.
The slider is not been predictable for him. He does not quite have a command of the release point. I mean, he's throwing some good ones, but he's throwing some sliders that haven't even been close. And Coy Hill wants a 3-2 slider.
Only plays to first. And just in time. Wow.
No way.
Ted Barrett with the call.
No, Aubrey Huff going hard down the line. A cue shot over to Ramirez. Got it right. Ted Barrett nailed it. Nice call. And he got him by a step. Well, maybe a fraction of a step. Nevertheless, Ted Barrett all over it.
Strike 1 to Posey with that slider. Very close, but as you saw, with the advantage we had over Ted Barrett with the slow motion and the freeze frame, he got it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right now he's throwing only sliders. Buster Posey, an RBI single to the first, a couple of ground outs, and then what was scored as a 2-run double in the 7th. Too low. 2-1.
You know, he's one of those guys, I think you hit him backwards. A lot of guys will look fastball until they get to 2 strikes. With Marmol, I think you look slider until you get to 2 strikes. and then you protect with 2. But he's going to throw you a lot of breaking balls.
Fastball along the right field line. Fukudome. It's fair. Burris went back to tag up. He's going to have to hurry. And the throw is way offline. A double for Posey and his 4th RBI of the game. 8-5 Cubs.
3 hits, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs. And Posey keeps hope alive. This is how you beat a slider. This is how you beat a fastball that runs inside. This is how you beat every pitch. You stay inside it. And they really were playing a straightaway set with Fukudome in right field. I mean, they weren't cheating on the gap in right center. And he still hits it away from the defense. Nice AB.
Pat Burrell. Ball 1 with the slider. Burrell is 0 for 4. Emmanuel Burris went back to tag up on that play. And had to hurry to score. Out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Burrell has only had 3 plate appearances in his. What did I say? 3 plate appearances?
Well, that's okay. It's late. 3. It's below 50 degrees.
He's faced him 3 other times and has had 2 walks and a strikeout. So he's never put a ball in play against Marmol. 0 for 1 officially. He's been on base twice. 2-1 the count. There is Sandoval on deck. If Burrell gets aboard, Sandoval would be the possible tying run. Fastball at the knees. 2-2.
Perfect location pitch. We've seen it called all night by now. And it's not something he's surprising that either team with right now, calling that ball down and away a strike.
Slider into right field. Posey will stop at 3rd. 2 out, or rather 1 out, but 2 strikes, single by Burrell. And Pablo Sandoval is coming up as the possible tying run. And Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, out to talk to Marmol. I remember a game about 3 years ago at Wrigley Field just before the All-Star break. Marmol came out. He was not the closer at that time. He was the setup man. And the Giants scored 5 or 6 runs in the 9th inning against him to tie a game that looked to be all but over.
He's vulnerable right now. He doesn't have that big weapon, the big consistency with that slider. I mean, that's, as we mentioned, one of the better sliders in the National League. It's a good one. And his strikeout count will back that up. But it's not working for him tonight. He's vulnerable.
Pablo Sandoval, 2 for 4 in the game.
And
1 out.
That may have been the message from Larry Rothschild. Throw more fastballs.
Again, the low strike. And it's 0-1. There is Uribe on deck. 8-5, Cubs lead. The slider got him out in the front foot. And Hill is back, but it's over the screen. Strike 2. Way outside at 94 miles an hour. 1-2.
It has been a long time since Pablo Sandoval has hit a home run. As Brian Wilson starts to get ready.
The slider chopped foul. Well, I guess if you're sitting in the Giants dugout, you say, well, he is definitely due. It's been since June 15th, almost 2 months ago. 172 at bats since the last big fly. One and 2 the count. Up the middle. Castro's got it. Posey has scored. Great effort there by Castro to keep that one from going through. but just not enough time to get Sandoval, and now it is 8-6, and the possible tying runs are on base.
And this crowd is into it. I mean, again, a game of inches. It splits the middle infielders. Castro cannot get to his feet in time to get up and throw. And in a 2-strike protect mode, I mean, that slider was not a hanger. He beat a pitch. I don't know how he did. But Juan Uribe is going to step in that batter's box, and he's going to represent the winning run. And there's not one person in this ballpark that's not thinking home run. Not one.
So Uribe, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts in his career against Marmol. He took his best shot right there.
He was thinking about it.
The wind is blowing out toward left field. Hard. He's had a double and a single tonight and a deep fly ball to right. And he blew another one by him.
Now you shorten up a bit. Make your adjustments.
Burrell at second. Sandoval, the possible tying run at first. And 3 fastballs and out.
Wow. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. That was impressive. Fastball, fastball, fastball.
Travis Ishikawa. He's only seen Marmol 1 time in a big league game, and he walked against him. Travis, 1 hit, 4 at-bats with an RBI. Burrell at second, Sandoval at first. And he blew that fastball right by him. And all of a sudden you start saying, well, yeah, why wasn't he throwing that fastball? Cubs bullpen is heating up. Berg and Russell, right-hander and a left-hander, respectively, in the Cubs bullpen. Last chance for the Giants. 2 down, 9th inning. The slider. Nasty. 0-2.
Well, he's seen his pitches. He's a 2-pitch guy, and he's showed you what he has.
This is a guy who's hardly ever gives up a hit. The Giants have 4 hits in the inning against him. And there is hawk power. The Cubs hang on to win it. The Giants give him a battle here in the 9th inning, but they had too far to come. Cubs win at 8-6. Dempster gets the win over Lincecum. We're going to come back here on our flagship station, NBC Bay Area, but we are going to say good night to you on the Giants television network. Thanks for tuning in. And this series is now even at a game apiece, and the Giants are now 2.5 back of the Padres, who won their game 4-1 over the Pirates. Game 3 of the series coming up tomorrow night at 7:15. Zito and Gorzelani. John